One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
His language was not specific. It came out, if you were listening to that video.
I was in the room, Elmer. I was in the room.
I'm sure, but if you were
I'm just telling you that I was in the room.
But if you were any sort of normal person listening to that video or looking at the clips online, you could come to the conclusion that he was calling, at minimum, this one man garbage, or not, if not all Trump supporters garbage. Does he regret not being more precise with his language? And does he also?
I'm waiting for the question to end, but keep going.
And I apologize.
Yeah,
the second part of that is, does he have any regret for how this has shadowed Vice President Harris's campaign?
So a couple of things there, because there's a lot that you laid out. Look, the president wanted to clarify because he understood that what he may have said he understood that what he was saying was being taken out of context. So he wanted to be very, very clear about what he was trying to say.
Can we just please not provide cover for our leaders when they make mistakes like this? That was a terrible mistake that Biden made. It should not be justified. Again, if you're a private citizen and you have your personal views about the Republican electorate, that's on you and that's your business. You have not taken an oath to represent the country. You're not the president of the United States. And I don't know why anyone would think it's a good idea to celebrate or applaud political culture in this country that allows for the president to just regularly trash tens of millions of people that he himself is supposed to be representing. That is not a good culture to set. And things will just continue devolving. I don't think that this is a winning thing to do. I'm not proud of what Biden did. And honestly, the thing that frustrates me even more is that after he made those statements, even though he was on video making those statements, a bunch of people are totally gaslighting about how it didn't happen. It's totally made up. It's fake. It's a scary world that we're currently living in, where a lot of people, a lot of voters, a lot of people in the media, just not based in, their views are not based in reality at all. And they would rather lie to people in order to cover up a mistake or a terrible act of an individual in a position of power. I don't even recognize what's happened to the Democratic Party anymore, to be honest. I see the direction that the country is going in with this type of divisive, disgusting rhetoric from people who, again, went out of their way to get elected to represent the people. When you make that decision, when you are awarded that position by the people, you need to represent the people, including the individuals who decided to cast their ballots for someone else.
Who is the...
Now that was Anna, I can't pronounce her last name, from the Young Turks. And what I wanted to do today's pre-show about was the amount of Democrats that are basically turning and embracing MAGA. And if not MAGA, at least the ideology of not wanting to put baby removal as a centerpiece of everything that they think. I have seen probably over the last week some people who have made an argument that they want to see honesty. They want to see things that Trump is trying to let this country become, whether or not you like it, great again. I don't know why you wouldn't want it to be great. In order to be great, you can't basically rely on a cultish following of baby removal. You can't rely on basically what I'm saying here and using fake words because you're not allowed to speak. I am not harming anybody if I chose to use the right words. But for some reason, we've gotten to a position where at this point, everything is offensive to somebody. Which means that those people who feign being offended now can dictate to us what we say. The New York Times and Media Matters have dropped this article, along with the Washington Post that Bezos wants to clean up, attacking many conservative voices, with the attempt to shut somebody up before the election, to hope that we can't get the word out. We're already seeing many problems with voting and different problems with the machines, and the weird chick from Colorado leaking the passwords to Dominion, to using the Supreme Court to get back in order very quickly, to using the court system in Pennsylvania to stop Josh Shapiro from doing what he was doing. They are trying everything they can to basically shut the right down. And so I think there's a lot of people on the left, let me rephrase it. There are a lot of Democrats who aren't lefty nuts who are like, this isn't right. I may be a Democrat, but I'm not with this stuff. I can't be a part of this, because some smart Democrats are realizing this is just the beginning foray into Marxism, communism, whatever you want to say. There's so much more that's going to happen if you open that doorway. If they're doing the censorship now and tinkering with the voting and cheating now, what do you think will happen if she were to get in the office? That's a question I don't think some of these celebrities ask themselves. I heard today Jennifer Aniston came out with a scathing thing on Trump and saying she's basically going to support Kamala Harris. I wish at this point people would stop saying Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. That's a straw man argument. I don't care if you about Kamala Harris, and it doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump. What we are looking at is, do you want America or do you want Cuba? Do you want America or do you want some third world country where everything is mandated and you can't do what you want? Do you want good or do you want evil? And I think too many people, and that's why they're trying to paint the picture of Donald Trump being this really bad person. They want you to make the person the focal point instead of your life. I was so disappointed today. Ryan Clark, who's on ESPN, sold out and decided he was going to jump in and saying it was racist that Nick Bosa from the San Francisco 49ers, he wore a MAGA hat, and because he put on a MAGA hat, it's basically hypocritical because of what happened with Colin Kaepernick. I thought to myself, Colin Kaepernick basically insulted the country by kneeling for the national anthem and started all this crap, or was a good part of starting all this crap. He might as well have been Jesse Smollett. You've been trying. The guy wore a hat after a game. He put it on and he photobombed the reporter. And that's it. And he ran off. He didn't make a spectacle of it, but you're trying to equate what Colin Kaepernick did and has continued to do with one guy putting on a hat and supporting Trump. I say all this because I was on a space this morning. I hear a lot of the voices, a lot of people comment, and they're concerned. And they're concerned because what do we do? What if, they're going to cheat? They're going to do this. Don't be so confident in that Trump's going to win. Well, you should be. Because what they're doing is not indicative of people who feel they're going to win. You don't try to censor people and shut them up if you think you're going to win. You don't have people on ESPN trying to make sure that this football player can't say what he wants to say if you think you're going to win. You see, everything they're doing and the complete lies and obfuscations that the media is pushing out there, that Kamala Harris herself is pushing out there, you don't do that if you think you're going to win. Flip the script. Trump trying to take away anybody's rights? Trump trying to tell you you can't talk on X or YouTube or Facebook? No. How many mistakes on the voting machines are going towards Trump versus going towards Kamala? All of them go towards Kamala. Oh, it was a mistake. I don't see any Trump people out there running around pulling out Kamala signs out the ground, if you can find one. Nope. I don't see Trump fans going to Kamala's rallies and screaming at her. Nope. Why is it that all the chaos is happening in the Democrat Party? Why are all the crazies over there? I have yet to see any video of any Trump supporter beating up an inanimate sign. I've seen them. I've seen those nuts. You don't do that if you think you're going to win. You don't do any of this stuff. You don't have the media screaming. And before I continue, I just want to show you guys this. It gives you hopefully a little bit of comfort. Eric Trump posted, basically he posted what his dad posted. He goes, fortunately, we have eyes everywhere. These individuals will be prosecuted. And this is what Trump put out there. We caught them cheating big in Pennsylvania. Must denounce and prosecute now. This is a criminal violation of the law. Stop voter fraud. Check out Kamala's new sleazebag lawyer. We are on them all this time. Who would have ever thought that a country is so corrupt? I did. He did. Anyone who's paying attention would know so. And the thing with it is there's a lot of Democrats at this point who are understanding that things have to change. I'm not sure if you guys know who Bill Ackman is. Bill Ackman is a billionaire investor, and he lays out a case as to why it's not Kamala versus Trump. And I wish more Democrats, and even some of you, would understand the difference as to what some of these Democrats are seeing that makes them sit back and go, I think this side is the side to go to.
Vice President Harris team, right? On Trump's side, we have Trump, we have Musk, we have RFK, we have Tulsi Gabbard, we have Vivek Ramaswamy. These are actually very, very capable people that have kind of joined the team. And once he actually wins, I think a lot more very capable people are going to sign up. And I think if you look at the issues that they're focused on, Musk is focused on everything from regulation to government efficiency to waste and cutting costs, and he's obviously pretty good at that. He let go 80% of X, and it's a much more highly functioning, better product today. Kennedy's going to focus on, corruption, pharma, making America's healthy. These are, I think, critical issues for the country. By the way, part of the reason why our budget's out of balance is we have such an unhealthy populace. Mm-hmm. We spend an absolute fortune as you know, on healthcare, and we have the worst health outcomes of any, major country in the world. If we can change that, that alone, we're going to save enormous amounts of money.
So think about something. When you look at a football team, I always say football because I played football. Do you look at, hey man, there's a great head coach here. There's a great general manager. Who's he got on his team? Does he have a good quarterback? Have a good running back? Have a good wide receiver? Have a good offensive line? Or you think the coach is going to do everything? You see, I think the brilliant thing that Trump did that Kamala hasn't done yet, as Bill Ackman is saying, I can see Trump's bench. I can see RFK Jr. I can see Tulsi. I can see Elon Musk. I can see all these proven people. Vivek Ramaswamy, J.D. Vance. I can see all of that. I'm looking at that and going, wow, he's putting together a good team. No president can do anything unless they have a good team. Is Kamala Harris showing you a team? I mean, seriously. Tim Walz doesn't, I wouldn't trust him to be a dog walker. Who's her team? Who's she bringing in to help fix all this stuff that she knows nothing about? You can tell by her speeches she's flipping clueless. Who's her team? A prudent individual, not some hack, a prudent individual would sit back and go, I'm not just voting for the president. The president can't do crap if he doesn't have a good team. You've got billionaire business people going back, oh, Trump out the picture, Elon, RFK, Vivek, Tulsi, on and on and on. Cantor from Wall Street, who she got? I don't even see her even discussing who her team could possibly be. And you don't think people are taking notice of this, especially people in business?
Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in the world. And that if we can actually change the growth trajectory of the United States, instead of growing at, these very low single-digit growth, 2% or 2.5%, which is, kind of what we've achieved in the last, number of decades, and we can take that to 3.5%, 4%.
You see, the conversations that are being held by people with brains are not about baby removal. That doesn't move the needle for most of the population. Nobody cares. This many people care about having baby removal, and some of the women I see caring about baby removal, damn, you really don't have any reason to worry about baby removal. Most of the prudent people I see worry about what's going on with newcomers and how they're going to be affecting the country. You don't see anyone on the left even really talking about it. They don't care. It's baby removal. People on the right want to know, hey, what's up with this tax situation? You want to go ahead and just keep taxing and taxing and taxing. Well, that's going to hurt business. That's going to hurt my employees. That's going to hurt commerce. Nobody on the other side saying anything. How can this race be close? Because obviously we have a lot of stupid people who don't care and are exactly the cult members they expect or call everybody else to be. Many of you may be on a fixed income. These people are talking about improving the economy and encouraging prosperity and investment. What is she talking about? Only thing I ever hear her talk about when I've turned on her speeches, God forbid I have to turn them on, is that Trump is Hitler. And we're all fascist. Well, beyond that, Kamala, I understand. You think we're all fascist. So should we not be able to eat? Should we not be able to drive cars? Should we not be able to own businesses? Because I never hear you talking about that. But billionaires, besides Mark Cuban, who understand, hey, listen, I'm in this because I want to make a profit. And profit is not a bad word by any stretch of the imagination. So since profit is not a bad word by any stretch of the imagination, can we talk about how you're going to help us all prosper? I mean, I don't want to live in the pot and eat the bugs. I'm not a bug eater. I don't want to own nothing and be happy. No, that would make me happy. Who are these people who are okay with this? Well, There are people who don't, unfortunately, they have votes they shouldn't. There's no way we can unvote them. But she has found that niche of people who are basically the dregs of society. They have no desire to make themselves better. They have no desire to mate. So I don't understand what they're worried about baby removal. They don't want to have kids. They don't want to protect women. They don't want to see people prosper. You're never going to have to worry about baby removal, these white dudes from Harris. It ain't ever going to happen. That's what I find the funniest thing about all of this. The people who are clamoring for this are never going to procreate. They're going to sit in mommy's basement, play their video games, and basically scream about the climate. It's not really the, type of guy that's going to attract a woman. And some of these women, they're looking at other women. So I don't know what you're talking about, baby removal. It doesn't make no sense. I'm sorry. Let's continue.
Applications for the poor, for meeting our obligations, for scientific advancement, for national defense, for a safer world, are very, very powerful. And it sounds like such a small difference, but with the passage of time, that's one of the powerful forces that you learn about when you're in my industry. I'd love to see it apply in the government. So I'm excited about a Trump-Musk administration, and I credit to Trump. I think the other point I would make here, and I do think this is a really important election.
Did you catch that? I watched it twice. I had to rewind it. Notice he said a Trump-Musk administration. He didn't say Trump-Vance administration. He said Trump-Musk administration. A billionaire guy who's very couched with his thoughts, understands how to articulate, said a Trump-Musk administration. I don't think it's meant to be any slight on J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance has done very, very well. But I think what he is saying in the talk behind the scenes is basically Elon's going to be a lot tighter with this entire administration than a lot of people even think. I think he's going to be right there in the Oval Office giving his suggestions. Excuse me.
Is that, strong leaders are not afraid to bring on talented people and work alongside them. J.D. Vance is an extremely intelligent, articulate debater. Compare Tim Walz in terms of, I would say, mental acuity, talent, life achievement versus J.D. Vance. So I think that speaks to what the leadership team will look like in a Trump administration, and I'm excited about it. There are two ways to resolve debt. One way is to cut expenses.
Yeah.
Another way is to grow revenues. But ultimately, you need to grow the value of the asset that the debt's secured by to make the leverage comfortable. That's one way to think about it. And so the Trump approach is, I'm going to accelerate the growth of the country. And the way I'm going to do that is, one, I'm going to eliminate a lot of regulations that are holding back.
Have you heard this level of conversation from anybody on the Kamala side? Any of them? Talking about growth in revenue. How do you get the country to become more prosperous and to put more money into the economy? You have to do one of two things. You either grow your revenue or you produce more product and keep the economy growing. Nope, don't hear it. Never. You tell me. Leave a comment if you see her talking about how to do different things to make people's life better economically. I'm all ears. She keeps telling you what she's going to do, but none of it makes any sense. And Mark Cuban, who's, I guess, trying to talk to her, he's freaking out and just making gibberish. And today they've come up with a new campaign that Trump is offending women because of something the other day he said he wants to protect women. I'm sorry, that plays right into what the white dudes from Harris said. The white dudes from Harris said, I don't think I should have to provide and protect a woman. I guess I'm antiquated. Where I come from, it is a man's job, obligation, and something he embraces when he knows he has to take care of his family. take care of his women, his children, provide for them. That comes with the territory. You got a pair? Yeah. Your job, if you got that pair, is to make sure you take care of your family. Doesn't mean everybody's up to par. Doesn't mean everybody understands what they need to be doing. But eventually, you get slapped in the head and you're like, okay, this is my job. There's no reason. I mean, there may be some reason some guys can't financially do what they're supposed to do. You need to get your shit in order. But there's no reason why a guy can't protect his family. And what they're saying right now, and the argument that they're making, is that Trump was insulting women because he says he wants to protect them. Think about that for a second. What woman in here says, no, I'm good, I don't need a man, I don't need any protection, I'm fine? Until somebody kicks in your front door. The Trace Leches guys come showing up. And the police ain't coming. You better hope you got a man or something in the closet. I mean, I know a lot of single women. You know, I know some divorcees and things of that nature, but it doesn't mean you don't want it. You may not need it at this point in your life, but it doesn't mean that it's not something that should be taken out of society. That society should say, you don't need a man in your life. You don't need any money. You'll live in a pod, be happy, own nothing. We'll tell you what to do, where to go, when to go. It was funny on the spaces this morning that we had. There was a gentleman and his wife from England, and they tuned in to hear the people talking on our spaces in the community, and they were telling us how they're not allowed to hear anything. Have you heard that in the news? Nope, you're not allowed to listen to that. You're not allowed to go here. You're not allowed to do this. The government controls all of the messaging. And so they look elsewhere to find information. Is that the life that you want to lead? An unprotected, ignorant state of being where you don't know anything and you just rely on the government 100%? That's what these celebrities are telling you. Hey, I made my millions. I'm good. So, good luck with all that. And here's some more baby removal to go along with it. If you don't want to protect women, if you don't want to provide for your family and your children, then you might as well go have the change. You might as well become a transformer, which is probably what they're advocating for. Get the little thing chopped off, get the other thing snipped, and you'll be fine. Because at that point, you don't have the man card anyway. And so for her to come out today and make this grandiose statement that Trump, oh my God, it's insulting that he says he wants to protect women, then why are you married, Kamala? Tell us why you're married. Tell us why you are telling other people that you don't need a man to protect you, but you got one. And you got bodyguards who got guns. Man, that's how stupid people on the left are. It's beyond comprehension.
That make no sense and are actually holding back economic progress. And if you think about how long it takes to build a bridge in the United States, or build a building, or even build a home, and the nature of the approvals you have to get, and the number of government agencies, you look at the Biden administration, right? The $42 billion for rural internet access, and no one's been connected, and it's been years, right? $7 or $8 billion for a dozen charging stations.
Did you know that? Do you know how much money they've blown or reallocated, however it may be, that they were supposed to use to, connect the world on the internet 4 years ago? Can't blame that on Trump. You've had the money. You basically said what you were going to do, but you ain't done it. Everything they do is a lie. And I cannot believe these people support this crap.
So the government is notoriously inefficient, and then you have all of all the regulatory. So I think one, a massive review of all the regulatory kind of quagmire, and set up the country efficiently. Two, I think having Elon Musk as your partner in this enterprise, I think, is a huge home run. Right. So when was the last time we heard about a presidential candidate talking about cutting waste in government? So having a Department of Government efficiency, I think, makes tremendous sense. So eliminate waste. No one likes waste. Accelerate growth. and among that.
Mr. Billionaire, I understand. You said nobody likes waste. That's wrong. I'm going to correct you because the governments love it. People who have been career politicians and career bureaucrats, they love government waste. They line their pockets with it. It's the biggest form of grift. That's what these people are terrified about the Trump administration. That's why they are terrified that Elon's going to come in and he's going to be like Javier Milei in Argentina. Don't need it. Don't need it. Gone, gone, gone. It's not about basically helping America. They realize if he comes in and gets rid of all these agencies, their grift ends. They can't work 20, 25 years in a government job making 150 grand a year doing nothing. That's what they're all terrified about. Damn, I said 150? Probably a lot more than that. They're probably stealing all kinds of cash.
Reduce the cost of energy, which is embedded in the cost of everything. And we grow our way and we improve our efficiency way out of the problem. And that's how we do it. And the United States kind of unleashed, right? This is still the most entrepreneurial nation in the world.
Yes.
AI is this incredibly powerful technology that is going to be transformative. And I think that's how we're going to solve the problem. We solve it with growth and efficiency. And imagine how much more gets done, how many more people get employed, how much wages ultimately go up in a world in which it's easier to get things done. Because there are a lot of people who want to build things, want to build houses, want to start companies, want to grow their businesses that are being held back by the way that our very inefficient government oversees the country.
You say no one likes waste, and I think I know what you mean. I would argue that the people who benefit from all of this bureaucracy and corruption and, we started talking about DEI. I mean, DEI in government is a huge industry, and none of those people want to cut waste because that's their salary.
I hear you, but I don't think there's a lot of sympathy for people who are benefiting by waste.
Yeah.
And
except by them, they have a lot of sympathy. They're like, oh my God, I've got this cushy job, I don't do anything. And this guy's going to come in and cut it? Oh, we got to vote for Kamala. That's why there were so many people when she held the rally in Washington. There was no accident why it was in Washington.
The result will be a much more efficient, effective economy. There's a book, I think it's called Bullshit Jobs. I think we have a lot of bullshit jobs, unfortunately, in government. And I think we need to eliminate them. You look at the education system, it hasn't changed in 100 years. The typical schoolhouse, one teacher gets up in front of a group of students. It's we're spending enormous amounts of money, particularly in our cities. I heard a number today. We spent two-thirds of the budget for New York State on education. Some number like this, some crazy number.
You must be getting great educational results, Bill.
Of course, the results aren't working. So that, by the way, AI is going to be a very powerful technology in custom tailoring education for each.
I know a lot of people are really fearful of AI. And I know I have a number of retirees and older people who watch this show. In addition to telling you to prep and be ready for what may come, on the good side, when Trump gets in the office, you need to begin today learning AI, learning what it can do for you and how it can improve your life and improve your business if you're in business. AI is not to be feared. AI, used the right way, is going to make your life so much better. It's going to help you with profit. It's going to make your business better. You have to... People who say, "Oh, I'm worried about AI," it's a tool. When the first time you picked up a saw, and the blade's going crazy, like, wait a second, I'm used to just sawing like this, and now we've got this blade that's going to come across, and if it hits a thing, it might cut my hand off or something. You learn how to use it. The old saw took so much effort sawing through something. The new saw, it just buzzes through the wood. Same thing with AI. It will hurt you if you don't learn how to use it. My tutorial for today about AI is make yourself a prompt master. Last night I sat with Robin. She sat on the couch. I was watching television. And she's like, what's this grok thing? And I told her what grok was. And Robin paints in her spare time. She loves to paint. She's pretty big in watercolors, so she makes all kinds of things. She goes, but well, what can it do? And I said, put a prompt in and see. So she put, watercolor picture of Jesus. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm like, now you have to develop your prompt. And she's like, poppy seeds in a field with mountains in the background. I'm like, that's good. What color do you want the mountains? Poppy seeds with high mountains in the background with green fields and snow caps. She's like, oh my God. And in an instant, she's got a picture. And then she'll take and she'll paint it. And every iteration that she went through, she did so many iterations, but by the time she was done, Grok said, no, go more, go take a break. You can't, you don't have the right subscription to continue at this point. And then, of course, I got the, hey, can you upgrade my prescription to Grok? And then she stayed up until whatever night, just messing with pictures, just pictures. It is amazing what that AI can do with you. So let me just let you know, Trump is on the ground as they pull the big bird up. This one is at an airport. I will cut to it so you guys can see the big bird. So just not prep stuff, meaning food and water. Prep yourself with AI. Understand what's going to happen. You have no choice. It is the future. It just like when I asked a lot of people to go over to X, people like, X, Twitter, I don't know how to use that. And now it's proliferate. I'll come back to this in a little bit or maybe afterwards, but I just wanted to show you this. Something we just started a couple weeks ago now has 7,000 plus patriots. People who said they didn't know how to use X are now all over there just going crazy and understanding now why I said let's go to a X membership instead of YouTube membership. So I'm going to show you something because here comes the big bird. The big bird is coming around behind, and there you see the big Trump plane. And he's going to be parking it, as you know, right behind the stage. So we are not that far away from Trump actually speaking. He buzzed the crowd, but it was kind of high. The picture, you couldn't really see what was going on. But now they're going to bring that bird around and park it right behind the bleachers, which they always do. So Trump will be coming on momentarily. While you're doing that, and we're talking about prepping, like I said, prep, do what you need to, and get yourself ready. And that means basically looking at your finances, and if you can, go ahead and hedge yourself with some gold and silver. If you see what's going on in the world right now, and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. In fact, gold hit an all-time high recently. In fact, I think it hit it again today. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here, or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com, to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Don't wait until after the election. That could be too late. We all want Trump to be elected. But if he isn't, or if they find a way to steal it, you'd better be prepared. Call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. You know, when you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you.
Each kid's progress. So I just think we have to, we're introducing technology into the corporate landscape in a way that's making businesses more efficient. We haven't looked at introducing technology in government to make government more efficient. I couldn't imagine a better person than Elon Musk to help with that.
But isn't that going to be an almighty battle? Because you're not just dealing, which is, I think Konstantin's question alluded to. Let's be fair, it's not just the people who benefit from it. You're fighting against an ideology.
Which is why you need a Trump-type president to do it. One, he can't get reelected. This is his second term. He's got 4 years to make it happen, and he doesn't care. And I think you need someone who's independent enough to be able to execute on this. You know, if you compare to Vice President Harris, well, this is her first term. She's going to want to get reelected. She's going to be beholden to the system. That's another reason to support Trump.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Aloha. I joined the Democratic Party over 20 years ago. I was 21 years old in Hawaii, and at that time, it welcomed people from all different backgrounds, different views, celebrated free speech, and actually defended those whose speech was being attacked, even if they disagreed with their views. It was a party that stood up for the little guy and represented our values of freedom and liberty in America. I left the Democrat Party because now it stands for the exact opposite of all of those things.
Free speech is not an absolute.
Social media sites, they are speaking to millions of people without oversight or regulation, and that has to stop.
I never would have imagined as an American and as a soldier that we would live in a country in my lifetime where we would feel like we have to self-censor what we say, that we couldn't criticize our own government for fear of them labeling us as a domestic terrorist. We are closer to the brink of World War III and nuclear war today than we ever have been before, directly because of the Harris-Biden administration's foreign policy. Too many Americans are struggling just to afford the basic necessities of life. No matter how many times we've heard Kamala Harris and Joe Biden over these last 4 years tout and celebrate how Bidenomics has been great for America,
America's economy is strong.
Polls consistently show that a majority of the American people disapprove of the president's handling of the economy.
Guess what? It's working.
Over half of Americans earning a six-figure salary report that they're actually living paycheck to paycheck. Bidenomics is working. It is actually working.
The number of homeless people on the streets and in shelters across the U.S. increased significantly this year.
Bidenomics is working.
it's almost as though they're speaking from an ivory tower, saying how great they are and patting themselves on the back, while people are struggling for crumbs on the streets. This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about choosing, we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
The Department of Defense under Biden's authority quietly codified its right to deploy lethal force against its own citizens on American soil.
I'm proud to endorse Donald Trump in this election because he is our best hope. Specifically because of the leadership that President Trump has brought to transform the Republican Party and bring it back to the party of the people, the party of equality, the party that was founded to fight against and end slavery in this country. It is the party of common sense and the party that is led by a president who has the courage and strength to fight for peace.
Mr. Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to ever set foot inside North Korea yesterday.
And this is why they will do everything possible to try to destroy him. because this man has the courage to take them on and root out the deep rot of corruption in Washington. My message to my fellow Americans, regardless of your political affiliation, now is the time for us to stand together to save our country. A vote for President Trump is a vote for a big open tent party that welcomes people from all backgrounds and all walks of life. A vote for President Trump is a vote to express our deep love for our country and our appreciation for our God-given rights and freedoms enshrined in the Constitution. A vote for President Trump is a vote for secure borders and safe communities, and a vote for President Trump is a vote for peace here in America and around the world. Thank you so much.
Recently,
when I saw that piece, I'm like, I gotta include that in the pre-show, at least one of the pre-shows. And so I put together that compilation that basically explains to Democrats who may watch this or may see it why people are leaving the Democrat Party and becoming Republican. See, the difference I find in these two campaigns is if Donald Trump, when Donald Trump wins, he really is going to do his best for everybody. Even the people who don't like him, even all these celebrities, you are going to prosper more. He is going to try indeed to protect you and protect the country so that you can continue making your movies and do what you do on stage, even though you hate him. He's going to try his best to make sure grocery prices are lower. He's going to do his best to make sure that gas prices are lower. He has pledged to reduce taxes, which he has already done before. All of these things, all of you on the left are going to enjoy. And you still can do your baby removal as well. Conversely, if Kamala Harris was to be president, all of that goes away. She has said she wants to tax us much more. Unrealized capital gains. She's against personal property rights. She's let in millions of Americans. She doesn't care that the grocery prices are where they are. She doesn't care that the gas prices are where they are. They wanted it this way. They wanted you to be beholden to the government. They are not going to like people like me. They are going to do everything they can to shut people like me up. Don't want to hear from you people. You're garbage. Can you imagine if Donald Trump said people who support Kamala Harris are garbage? What would have happened? Just think in your mind the reaction from the media if Trump said Democrats and people who follow Kamala Harris are garbage. You see, I don't have to imagine. She has already told me that we are garbage. I already know because she has told us, I want to take your money. I want to do everything I can to give more to these newcomers than to our own veterans. I see it. I want to tax unrealized capital gains. Unless you're accepting unrealized income, how the hell do you expect people to pay for unrealized capital gains? You don't care. There's nothing that she will do to reach out and say, hey, I understand you guys are Trump supporters. He didn't win. So, let's ease into this and make sure you're okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Green New Deal. Oh, climate. You can't have air conditioning. Oh, you can't eat beef. That's not happening on this side. Hey, we're going to make it so you can live your life the way you want to live it. You want to be a transformer? As long as I don't got to pay for it, have at it. You want to make baby removal your sacrament? I don't like it. You do you. You don't want to watch Charlie Kirk. You don't want to watch me. You don't want to watch Jack Posobiec or 10 other different conservatives. Don't friggin' watch. It's that simple. But the other guys who we choose not to watch, y'all can have at it. You know, why is it that your side just wants us to conform to you instead of just, hey, you guys live your lives and we're just basically not going to stomp all over your faces? That's the difference. It's not about Republican or Democrat. And in this last piece, Trump hasn't even gotten off the airplane yet. But this last piece I found, and I saw this not young, middle-aged black man telling you why he left the Democrat Party. Listen to this.
I made what many are referring to as a bold decision to switch my party affiliation to the Republican Party. I wanted to take a moment to explain why I chose to become a Republican, and also to explain why I don't think it was a bold decision at all. It is the right decision, not only for me, but for all my brothers and sisters in the black community. You see, in recent history, the Democrat Party has created the illusion that their agenda and their policies are what's best for black people. Somehow it's been forgotten that the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an abolitionist movement with one simple creed, that slavery is a violation of the rights of man.
Somehow they forget that.
Frederick Douglass called Republicans the party of freedom and progress, and the first Republican president was Abraham Lincoln, the author of the Emancipation Proclamation. It was Republicans in Congress who authored the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, giving former slaves citizenship, voting rights, and due process of law. The Democrats, on the other hand, were the party of Jim Crow. It was Democrats who defended the rights of slave owners. It was the Republican President Dwight Eisenhower who championed the Civil Rights Act of 1957. But it was the Democrats in the Senate who filibustered the bill. You see, at the heart of liberalism is the idea that only a great and powerful big government can be the benefactor of social justice for all Americans.
Imagine that. They don't tell you that, but they're doing it, is that government is your daddy. Government is how things are supposed to be. And I know my dad, who is black, and my mom, who is black, don't want that for their children. They definitely don't want that for their grandchildren.
But the left is only concerned with one thing: control. And they disguise this control as charity. Programs such as welfare, food stamps, these programs aren't designed to lift black Americans out of poverty. They were always intended as a mechanism for politicians to control the black community. The idea that blacks, or anyone for that matter, need the government to get ahead in life is despicable. And even more important, this idea is a failure. Our communities are just as poor as they have always been.
Like I've said, I can go back to parts of Connecticut where I'm from. I'm sure you can go to parts of cities where you guys may have grown up, and those same people are still in those same projects. Generations have basically been lost in time. How is that progressive? You know, Democrats call themselves progressive, meaning they're moving forward. But yet, generations of people are living in the hood. Over and over. They just, one dies, the next one pops up, they still live in the hood. They get their EBT card now. Remember food stamps? Remember when people had to go to the store and use food stamps and it was a stigma attached to it? And they're like, oh no, we can't have people doing that anymore because they should be able to pull out a credit card just like you. When the object of the whole thing was, yeah, you're on food stamps. People see that you're on food stamps. Yeah, there is a stigma to it. You're sucking off the government, off the teat of the government. Maybe I should do something to improve my lot in life instead of getting comfortable with this. But no, what they did is they started issuing cards and made it easy. Here, swipe. You're just like everybody else. Get your PIN number. You can do everything everybody else does except make the money to pay for your shit. See, that's the problem. They made it comfortable to be basically a puppy to the female government. You just all you had to do is just ask. It's right here. Here's your free card. Here's your free bus pass. Here's your free internet wherever they're going to do it. Everything's free. We got you. We got this. And then you find yourself just there, just existing, just living in the project, just not doing anything to further yourself in life. And they're happy with that. They're happy with more programs. As you've seen, Trump has shown basically the DEI stuff in the military. Hey, listen, you're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. You can be a transformer and be fabulous in the military.
Our schools continue to fail children. Our prisons are filled with young black men who should be at home, being fathers. Our self-initiative and our self-reliance have been sacrificed.
Self-reliance, accountability are things they don't teach many people in the black community. It's not something that they want you to know. You should be able to lean on the government. Now, I've got nothing wrong. Let me just qualify before anybody gets mad. If you're affirmed, if you are sick and you can't, you have some sort of disability, then of course, people should be as charitable as possible to make sure that you live an enjoyable life. But that ain't what we're talking about. We're talking about able young men and women who just exist to be wards of the state.
Exchange for allegiance to our overseers, who control us by making us dependent on them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if the word freedom is tossed around so frequently in our society that it has become a cliche. The idea of freedom is complex and it's all-encompassing. It's the idea that the economy must remain free of government persuasion. It's the idea that the press must operate without government intrusion. And it's the idea that the emails and phone records of Americans should remain free from government search and seizure. It's the idea that parents must be the decision makers in regards to their children's education.
How could you want the government, and if you've noticed the slide that we're on, where it became, no, these aren't your kids. These are the government's kids. You notice how that began permeating into society when people are like, wait a minute, no, those are my kids. And now we're to the point where certain states like California can do stuff with your kids without your knowledge. And the only reason they can do that is because they truly believe they are no longer your kids. Imagine that. You may be in Alabama, you may be here in Florida, you may be in Tennessee, in a state where they don't have that insanity. And you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Little TJ, if I tell him to go clean his damn room, he gonna go clean his damn room. So what happens when TJ comes home and says, I want to be, Shirley? Get your ass in the room. Oh no, in California, they're like, you refused him his coming out. You refused him as he wanted to blossom into Shirley. We're gonna take him from you. That is when people should have started realizing at that point we were reaching a part in government where the overreach was the step too far. You kept giving them access. You kept saying, that's okay, I'll change my words, I won't dead name you, I'll have to use your pronouns, it's okay. And it just keeps going and going and going. There's a weed down here in the South, and I never knew what it was. If you see you're going down the highway and you see this weed, it's a green weed and it overtakes trees and fences and everything else if it's allowed to prosper. And that weed is called kudzu. And I remember somebody saying, if you ever plant kudzu, throw the seeds down and run because it's going to overtake everything. Well, that's what the Democrats have done. They've thrown kudzu on your family. And I hear people saying, no, we shouldn't fight. We shouldn't do this. We should. That's what you thought a couple years ago before you started having to use pronouns. And before you thought you had your kids and they're no longer your kids.
Not some government bureaucrat. But most importantly, it is the idea that the individual must be free to pursue his or her own happiness, free from government dependence and free from government control. Because to be truly free is to be reliant on no one other than the author of our destiny. These are the ideas at the core of the Republican Party.
That author of your destiny, yeah, they don't want him involved in anything anymore either. See, they had to take him away too.
And it is why I am a Republican. So my brothers and sisters of the American community, please join with me today in abandoning the government plantation and the party of disappointment, so that we may all echo the words of one Republican leader who famously said, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
Now, a lot of people have had a problem with that gentleman because he said, it was a Republican. He was referring obviously to Martin Luther King. And people didn't like that he said that. But Martin Luther King's ideology looks a lot more like Republican than Democrat right now. So the timing is perfect. Mr. Trump is coming up the stairs and music is playing, as you heard. I'm going to cut to it so you can watch him take the stage. Here he comes. No music, because I can't play the music yet. But here he comes. And he is dark MAGA today. Just notice that. He is dark MAGA today. I don't know how cold it is in New Mexico, but he's got his suit coat under there, and he's got an overcoat. Can't see if he's got, it looks like he has gloves on. I can't tell if, no, he's no gloves, but he's definitely got dark MAGA on today. I think it's a statement. I think it's a statement. Kamala came out and said some stuff. We know that people are causing problems and cheating, and dark MAGA has arrived in New Mexico, which in and of itself, I hope you're understanding. Why is this man in New Mexico today? New Mexico was supposed to be a Democrat, stronghold. And he shows up in New Mexico. So I'm interested if he has gotten some data that says New Mexico is in play. So that may be something we may hear today. And again, I don't know if I've told you, but this is the first of 3 events today. I'll tell you about it more after he's done. We'll have those 3 events. At 6:30, he's going to be in Nevada. And then at 8:30, we have to play it by ear. He's going to be with Tucker Carlson. Donald Trump is taking the stage.
People here today, thank you very much. Thank you very much, New Mexico. What a good place. Thank you very much. Look, I'm only here for one reason. They all said, don't come. I said, why? You can't win New Mexico. I said, look, your votes are rigged. We can win New Mexico. We can win New Mexico. I said, why? They don't want to stop the people pouring across the border that are murderers, they're killers, they're drug addicts, they're drug dealers, they're gang members. Why? New Mexico wants to keep it going like it is. So, we almost won it twice. And let me tell you, I believe we won it twice. Okay, you want to know the truth. And if you can watch your vote counter, if we could bring God down from heaven and he could be the vote counter, we would win this. We'd win California. We'd win a lot of states. A lot of states that they say, oh, a Republican can't win that state. They say a Republican can't win. Well, you know what? We're going to win it. We got to win it. You just got to keep the votes honest. Keep the votes honest. But a very big hello. It is really an honor to be in New Mexico. I have so many friends. I've been here before, as you know, but we have so many friends, and I'm thrilled to be in this beautiful state with thousands of very proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. And I'd like to begin by asking a very, very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? We had per gallon $1.84. We used to say 87. I was corrected by the people in Washington. Can you believe it? $1.84 a gallon. And now you're at $3.50, $4. And let me tell you, after the election, if things didn't go the way they're expected to go, you'd be at $6, $7, $9, $10. But I've come here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote in this election, I will end inflation. I will stop the massive invasion of criminals into your state. And I will bring back the American dream. We're going to bring back the American dream. It's hard to have an American dream when radical, crazy killers and just horrible, horrible murders. You know, you had coming through your border. Do you know how many you had? 13,099. That's Border Patrol, who endorsed me, by the way, very strongly. And you know what they said about her? She's the worst person they've ever seen having anything to do with the border. She's terrible. You cannot elect her. That's Border Patrol. That's Border Patrol. Do you know that in 4 years, almost 4 years, she never called Border Patrol once, and yet she was in charge of the border? That's not too good. That's not. She's a stiff. She's a total stiff, and she lies. She had a news conference today. Trump wants to, let's see, what can we, he's going to cut Social Security. No, I'm not. I'm the one that saved it. He's going to save Social Security. She's going to lose it. And he's against he's against fertilization. He's against fertilization. She just says anything that comes to her mind. She's a liar. She's worse than Crooked Hillary. At least Hillary was intelligent. She was a very intelligent one. This one is a total stiff. You can't have her as your president. You know, she talks about unity. Oh, unity, unity. Oh, yeah, unity. By the way, he's like Hitler. He reminds me of Hitler. He's a fascist. She's talking about we're going to have unity, and then she calls me a fascist in the next sentence. This is the worst unifier. And you know, Biden was bad, but you know who was a really bad unifier? Barack Hussein Obama. He was a horrible unifier. Horrible. He was a horrible unifier. And not a very good person. Not a very good person. Now, here's the guy, though. The man whose election was ripped away from him like you take candy from a baby. Okay? Crooked Joe Biden. What's better, Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe? Sometimes I feel like it's Sleepy. Well, now, I don't know. Well, he's gotten him in so much trouble when he called you garbage. Hey, you're not garbage. You're not garbage. This is a hell of a big crowd. Look at that. Goes. I wish the fake news. I wish the fake news would show this crowd. I wish they'd turn the cameras over there as far as the eye can see. Over there. Not one camera's turning. Not one camera. They never turn the cameras. They never want to show the real crowd size. You know, Kamala should never be running right now. She doesn't deserve it. She came in last. She got no votes. Whether you like him or not, I'm not a big fan. But we had a debate. His numbers went down. It can happen. But they took it away from him. You don't take it away. He got 14 million votes in the Democrat Party. And then, that sounds like a nice F-35. You know how many of them I bought? I bought a lot of them. Personally, I like the F-22 the best, by the way. But I think the F-22 is the most beautiful fighter jet ever made. But let's get back into this. That's the weave. Let's get back to the subject. You always end up in the right. You have to always end up in the right place. But Crooked Joe Biden, they stole the election from him. They went in. They said, "Crazy Nancy Pelosi," who, by the way, she had a big stake in Visa. And she sold it 2 weeks ago. The following day, it was announced that Visa is under major investigation. Nancy Pelosi sold her Visa stock 1 day before it was announced that they were under investigation. And the fake news doesn't want to report the story. The fake news won't report the story. No. But there's one big difference between Crooked Hillary and Kamala. You know what it is? Hillary was far more intelligent than I guess. But Hillary didn't lie as much. Hillary was a liar and a scoundrel and a horrible human being, but she didn't lie as much as Kamala. Kamala will get up and say, Trump doesn't want to frack. He will never frack. No, I frack and I drill, baby, drill. I want to drill, baby, drill. She'll get up and say, haven't you heard? Donald Trump will not drill, baby, drill. He will not drill, baby, drill. No. Fortunately, most people are intelligent and they get it. This one, and we're leading big in the polls, all the polls. This is all you need to know. Kamala broke it, and I will fix it, and I'll fix it very quickly. And with your support, New Mexico, look, don't make me waste a whole damn half a day here, okay? Look, I came here, we can be nice to each other, or we can talk turkey. Let's talk turkey, okay? First of all, Hispanics love Trump. They do. True. I like them. They're smart. They're a lot smarter than the person running for president on the Democrat side. You could say a lot smarter than Biden, too, I can tell you. They're smart. They're entrepreneurial as hell. They're great entrepreneurs, actually. Great small business owners and big business owners, too. But they're great. They work their asses off. That's right. They don't want to get anything for nothing. They want it. They just want a fair, nice, level playing table, and that's what's going to happen. But you know what? No, but did you hear? I'm at the highest point of any Republican in history. Now we're going to, okay, that's one step. Now I'm going to make it of any Democrat also, because I treat you much better than the Democrats. The Democrats, they're destroying your country. They're destroying your country. So I'm here for one simple reason. I like you very much, and it's good for my credentials with the Hispanic or Latino community. On the East Coast, they like being called Hispanics. You know this? On the West Coast, they like being called Latinos. So, give me a free poll. I don't have to spend $300,000. First is going to be Latinos, next is Hispanics, right? Which do you prefer? Latinos. Let me give it one more shot. Latinos. Hispanics. I can't believe it. I had an argument on the plane back there. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I had a little argument on the plane. They said, sir, please use the term Latino when you're in New Mexico, I said. And I said, I've always heard Hispanic, and then at some point, there is a little area, but I feel more comfortable. Sir, really, you'll be very insulting. I take a poll, and it's 97% I was right. A free poll. As I was saying, I love the Hispanics. I love them. I love Hispanics, and they're hard workers, and boy, are they entrepreneurial, and they're great people, and they are warm. They are warm. Sometimes they're too warm, you want to know the truth. They are warm people. But you have to turn out the record numbers that we need in order to really demand a better future, and you have to go out, you have to vote. We want to win. We want to take care of the great state of New Mexico. We're going to defeat Kamala Harris, the worst vice president, and we're going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again, and you're going to go back. And, this group, I think this group is so large that if you all went right after this, who's voted? Okay, who is going to vote? That's good. Well, the people that have voted, if you voted against me, shame on you. I'm only going to focus on the people that haven't voted. I'm holding it against you. I should have done this trip about a week earlier, by the way. It's all right. These are minor mistakes. These are minor mistakes. No, it's good to be with you. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. But those people that haven't voted, which is about 40%, get out and vote for Trump, and we're going to have a big victory. We're going to have a big victory. I just want to be proven right. You know, I like to say I'm never wrong because it's good. Remember the hat, the great hat? Trump was never wrong about anything, and it's true. And that's sad because I've made some very bad predictions with her in office. You'll end up in depressions. You'll end up in third world wars. You'll end up, if anything ever happened, it would be horrible. If she got in, it would be horrible for the future of this country because she's grossly incompetent. She's more incompetent than Biden, and I didn't think I could say that about anybody. Do you think she's happy with him? I don't think so. Do you think she feels good about the language that he's been using lately, like calling us all garbage? Can you imagine the phone calls? What the hell are you doing, Joe? Please, Joe. I'm trying, Joe. I'm at a big disadvantage. They say I'm not smart, no, and then you go and you make it more difficult for me, Joe. What are you doing, Joe? Well, that's the way I feel, because that is the way it feels, probably. But you know who really, I won't use that term on him, but you know who the person is that we don't have too much respect for, right? I mean, you see what we have, and they're destroying our country, and they're ruining your state. They're letting millions of people come into your state. They're ruining your state. And get out there and vote. One of the biggest reasons we will win this state is that you have among the worst border problems of any state in America. And I am the only one that knows how to fix it. I already did fix it. 4 years ago, you didn't have a problem. 4 years ago, you didn't have a problem. Under Kamala, New Mexico has seen millions of people pour across your section of the southern border, including 10,000 convicted criminals and thousands of illegal alien gang members. Congratulations, you now have those gang members in your presence. Yeah, you have a lot of rough hombres, don't you? You have a lot of rough, they're tough hombres. Kamala has imported criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums, and mental institutions. They're emptying out their mental institutions and their prisons and jails from all over the world, and they're coming into the United States of America. We're like a dumping ground. It's a horrible thing. They come from Venezuela, they come from the Congo, and they're stealing countless American lives. In Las Cruces, Mexico, an illegal alien criminal who was arrested but released from jail. You heard about this, you know about this. It's a big story all over, but especially here. On unsecured bond was charged. Unsecured bond, what is an unsecured bond? The hell are they doing, an unsecured bond? What does that mean? What is it? A bond is supposed to be secured. Was charged with decapitating a man, mutilating his body, and kicking his head around like a soccer ball in the public park. The victim's head was found 30 feet from his body. He had been stabbed multiple times, and his middle finger had been removed. I guess that was a sign of something. Today, I want to have you hear direct. By the way, that person is not being charged like he should be charged. Okay? But today, I want you to take a look at something that just came about 2 days ago. We made a tape, which I'm going to show you, and it's a tape of a great mother who I got to know a little bit at one of the rallies, and I heard the story, and she said, I'd love to do this, and it's very sad. Everybody that's seen it, literally, they end up, tough men have ended up crying pretty profusely by... Thank you very much. There are hundreds and even thousands of cases like that, and it's people coming into this country that are horrible people. They're horrible people. I don't like saying that, but they're horrible people. And they come in totally unvetted, totally unchecked through this ridiculous open border policy that she and the radical left have. And the only reason they can want it, I guess, two reasons. They think they're going to sign people up to vote, or they're just grossly incompetent, which they are. Maybe it's both. But it's vicious. It's vicious that they do it. People are being killed every single day by illegal migrants coming into this country. These are rough people. These are people that have been in jails and prisons. And again, 13,000 plus murderers have been released into our country, some with the death penalty already stipulated against them. The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins. And the savages charged with brutalizing and murdering Precious, Jocelyn are members of the same vicious Venezuelan prison gang, Tren de Aragua, the most vicious gang they say in the world, although I would say MS-13 is right there with them. We took out thousands of MS-13 killers. When I was president, we took them out by the thousands. Before me, they didn't take them out because the countries wouldn't take them back. With me, I said to the countries, you're not going to take them back, right? You're not going to take them back? No more aid for that country. They said, sir, we'd love to take them back. We'd love to take them back. We took them out by the thousands. Two young girls walking down a street in Long Island. For some reason, MS-13 likes Long Island. And we took them out again by the hundreds and hundreds out of Long Island. We saved Long Island. But two girls walking down the street, going to school, 16 years old each, 16 beautiful, perfect, young girls. And they were hit by MS-13 and sliced up with a knife. They didn't want to use a gun because it's too quick. And they sliced them up and killed them, sliced them up into pieces. And those animals are paying a big price right now because of ICE. ICE went in and did a number on them. But we've got to get smart in this country. We've got to get smart. They're taking over apartment complexes. They're unleashing a violent killing spree all across America. In Aurora, Colorado, you've been reading about it. It's terrible. Yes, doctor, please. Doctor in the house, please. Please, take your time, doctor. Thank you. Medic, doctor. Thank you. Are they okay? Thank you, doctor. Take your time, doctor. We always have good doctors. That's one thing. We got a lot of doctors here. A lot of doctors, a lot of doctor support. Thank you. You've been waiting here a long time. Thank you. Thank you, doctor. Go ahead. You okay, doctor? You okay? Doing well? You tell us. Looks like you're doing okay. Thank you.
While they're tending to the sick lady, I got to show you something. I'll keep an eye so when he starts talking again. Hold on, he's saying something. All right. Trump just posted this, well, before he got on stage. It's called Kamala's Low Energy. And this was her getting on Marine 2 to take her back to the vice president's mansion. Oh, he's slaying her. Absolutely slaying her.
If my people can move quickly, put it on. Good. You can sing, and you can sing with this great voice that you're about to hear if you'd like.
No, we can't do that right now because he's going to play some music while he's waiting for this woman to be attended to. So if you haven't seen this video, and you're not going to miss anything, as soon as he walks back to the microphone, I will definitely take it. But this video was her on the plane, on the helicopter going back after her rally, which she only talked for like 25 minutes, and they put that up. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. This woman, she knows she's done. She knows it. Hold on. Okay, so I don't have the music on, so I won't get in trouble. So I can just talk to you guys. So let's take some comments while we're waiting for Trump to come back to the microphone. Yeah, she's definitely low. Have you heard of the Self-Determination Act? No, I can tell you I haven't heard of the Self-Determination Act. I just realized he's not wearing a tie. Yeah, that's true. He's not wearing a tie right now. It's the first time I've seen him without a tie, to be honest with you. It'd be pretty crazy. So I'm monitoring it. As soon as he steps back up on the stage, I will obviously cut right back to him. Somebody asked earlier, why does he not have the glass in front of him? Actually, with this cut right here, you can see the glass is definitely in front of him. So he is behind glass. He's out there at the airport, so they're going to make sure he's covered for that. She's done. She's taking more time off and sending everyone else to campaign for. Is she off again today? Did she decide she's not going to be doing it? Yeah, she should have. If she didn't pull the shade, perhaps her staff may have pulled the shade. Somebody asking, why is Trump gone? He's not gone. He's right there. And as soon as he starts talking again, somebody in the audience got sick. The doctors are working on him. He doesn't like talking while the doctors are working. So while the medics are there, they're playing music in the background that I can't play here because it's YouTube, not X. If I was on X alone, I could be playing this without much of a problem. But in any event, exactly, told you, far left of the screen. Yeah, you can see both sides. There's glass all around him, so it's all the way around. I've seen this video so many times, it always tears up. You must be talking about Jocelyn's mom video. Is fraud underway? Absolutely. These people, they're going to do everything and anything. It's just going to be non-stop at this point. They're not going to give up, even when he wins. They're just going to keep pushing. Still playing music, so we'll take something else here. But everywhere they turn, they're being overwhelmed by people, and I'm looking to see if there's been any new legal cases filed or whatever. Nope, don't see it. So tonight, let me just tell you about what tonight's happening. So we've got the rally in Nevada, which many of you have seen rallies. But tonight he's got a special event, and this special event is, I don't know if they're going to do it on a screen, if it was pre-recorded, I don't know, because he's in Nevada at 6:30. I don't know how he would get to Tucker's event, so I'm thinking it might have been pre-recorded, but looks like he's talking again. Hold on, and if that's him, we'll go to it.
And with that, I can tell you, he's great. Well, thank you. And Doctor, I think you're okay over there? Yes, everyone good? Let's go. Let's go. So, that was very sad, and there are so many sad stories for no reason whatsoever. Open borders, I call them the open borders, stupid policies. These are for stupid people. And we want people to come into our country, but we want them to come in legally. We want them to love our country and to love the people of our country, and we'll do that, but they can't just walk in from prisons and from all sorts of places. Do you know the crime rates are down in many places, and many cities outside of this country, because it's all over the world. They're coming in from the Congo. They're coming in from, crime rates are down in Venezuela by 70%, 72%, because they're taking their criminals and depositing their criminals in the United States of America. Thank you very much. And the United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be an occupied country no longer. We are an occupied country. When you see what's going on in Colorado, and I think Colorado is going to vote big for Trump too. They were the ones, the governor over there, he's a weak, ineffective, radical left lunatic. He doesn't know what to do because in Aurora, they're taking over the whole place. But you know what he tried to do? He wanted to get me off the ballot, and the people of Colorado were not happy about it, including Democrats. And we won 9-0 in the Supreme Court. That's what we had to do because of Colorado. And Colorado said, we're going to vote for Trump. That was their form of rebellion. So I hope you do that. I hope you vote for Trump. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered, and we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country and fast. To expedite removal of the Tren de Aragua and other savage gangs, I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of, listen to this, 1798. That's an old one. You have to go back that far because as we've grown and grown, our politics and politicians have become weaker and weaker. Our laws don't mean anything. It's so bad what's happening to our country, and we're becoming a very unsafe country, but we're going to be a lot more unsafe when you realize that all of the criminals from every country in the world is being deposited right into our nation, and we're not going to take it. But we're using the Alien Enemies Act, think of that, 1798, boy, that's a long time ago, to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil, and it gives tremendous authority to everybody to straighten out our country. We've got to have a country. We've got to have borders. We've got to have fair elections. We've got to have a free press. Look how many people are back there. They're just so many bad. They're so fake. So many of them, they're fake. They're fake. And if these monsters come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or law enforcement officer. And I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States. We're ending sanctuary cities, which is sanctuary for criminals. As we secure our border, we will bring back our economy, and very simply, I will make America affordable again. It's not affordable. Because these lunatics that we have running our government, they've allowed inflation to rise to a level that we've never seen before, and it's not affordable. They've come down, the prices came down, and now they're going shooting back up again. It's terrible. The job, we've got to get those costs down, and I'm going to get them down. You know how I'm going to get them down? We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill, bring energy down. And we're going to get interest rates down, too. They were at 2% with me, and now they're at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14%, and you can't get the money even if you want to pay it. Kamala Harris cast the deciding votes that launched the worst inflation in our country's history. She cost a typical American family over $30,000 in higher prices. Think of that, $30,000. And now Kamala, a disaster who shouldn't be allowed to run. She has no right to be running. You know what? You know the expression, right? They're a threat to democracy. That's what they are. They are the threat to democracy. Kamala wants to raise the typical family's taxes by nearly $3,000 a year. And I'm announcing today a new step that I'll take to get emergency price relief to all Americans. On day one, I will sign an executive order directing every federal agency to immediately remove every single burdensome regulation driving up the cost of goods. They drive up the cost of goods. We have so many regulations that hurt our country. I cut more regulations times 4 than any president in the history of our country. And that's why we had the greatest economy in history. That's one of the reasons why. The other is I gave you the largest tax cut in the history of our country, including Ronald Reagan. Furthermore, I will create a new cabinet position for a senior member of my administration who will be tasked exclusively with doing everything in the federal government's power to reduce the cost of living. We have to. You not be able to live. And a lot of it is just the regulations and the rules and regulations, which are just a waste of time and money. And everybody, we need regulation, but I have seen regulations where they have 30 regulations for one subject, and the one subject doesn't even matter. All agencies will be judged daily on their progress in slashing the cost of household items. We're going to slash the cost, and this will be the largest and fastest, most aggressive regulatory reduction. It's going to be the largest regulatory reduction in the history of our country, and it's going to happen very fast. Using just very conservative estimates, we will save the typical household $7,000 in the first year alone. With no impact to your life, Dave. No impact at all, just a waste of money. Uh-oh. Osprey. The Osprey. Pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing. They've had some difficulty, but pretty amazing. We will end the inflation nightmare immediately and create a record jobs boom, the likes of which you've never seen before. And we had a record. Think of it, 4 years ago, we were energy independent. And during my administration, we had the most successful economy, the greatest economy in the history of our country. The history of our country. And we had the best job numbers in the history of our country. African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, men, women, people with a degree, young people with a degree in the best schools, young people without a degree at all. Every single group had the best. There wasn't one group that wasn't at the all-time top. We had the most successful administration, and we rebuilt the military. We did so many. We defeated ISIS. We did a lot. I will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will also have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits to your seniors. This liar got up today. She said, Donald Trump is going to cut Social Security. No. She knows I'm not. She's going to destroy Social Security, but I'll never cut it. And I'm never raising the age either. She'll have no choice but to. But what I will cut is the tax on Social Security. So she's a little confused. No, she is a liar. And I'll also support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of their parents or a loved one, a husband, a wife. And they deserve it. You know, without them, you wouldn't have enough hospitals in this country if you doubled them up. You have unbelievable people, angel moms. You have unbelievable people that do a great job, and they're entitled to that. On behalf of the great people of New Mexico, I will end Kamala's war on American energy. You're not going to have any energy. You know, they talk about Pennsylvania, no fracking. If you don't have energy, they're going to take it away. They want to go all electric, everything all electric. Oh, that's going to be wonderful. They want, even in the military, they want all electric army tanks. There's only one problem, they don't work. But they will be environmentally friendly as you blast your way into various enemy cities, right? We'll do it we will blast our way through into a city in an environmentally friendly way. You know what happens? The battery is so big and so heavy that you will have to carry it in like a wagon on the back. okay? They'll be pulling a battery along in a wagon, and the battery's so heavy, they don't even know if the tank is going to have the power to do it. The whole thing is crazy. It doesn't go far. It doesn't have the right torque. These are minor details. The whole tank is so heavy that if it goes over a bridge, you're going to have to rebuild all the bridges. Same thing with the trucks. They want to make all trucks, all electric. The problem is they weigh 2.5 times more because of the battery. They don't go far enough. And because of the weight, by the way, it would mean we would have to build and rebuild. Every bridge in the United States of America has to be rebuilt to handle the weight of all electric trucks. I said to the head of the trucker, one guy has 28,000 trucks. I said, that's a lot. He's been buying them for his whole life. He said, I've been buying trucks for 50 years, sir, and every year they got better, bigger, stronger, more beautiful. We build those apartments on the back of that trailer right now, sir. You'd be proud to live in one of them. I said, I don't know about that. I'm not sure. Maybe I would. I probably would. They're beautiful. You see it. But every year, he said, for 50 years, they've gotten more efficient. They've gotten better. And now they want us to go all electric. And we'd be going back 50 years and much more. 50 years ago, a truck was better than the best electric truck today. So I said, did you explain that to the authorities as they burst into your office to demand that you go all electric? He said, I explained it. What they say, we don't give a damn. We want you to go all electric. This is what we're dealing with. It's like it's like Gestapo stuff, okay? They use that term. It's like Gestapo stuff. What they're doing to our country is unbelievable. And you talk about a supply chain. I said, how many stops would you have to make for electric? 6 to Los Angeles, New York to Los Angeles. 6 stops, sir, and we have no chargers. I said, that's a problem, too. Do you know they built 8 charging stations? You know what a charging station is? The same thing as a pump with gasoline, except electric is there. It comes, you put it in, right? Do you hear this story? $9 billion they've spent for 8 charging stations in the Midwest. So you're about ready to run out of electric, and they say, sir, if you go 300 miles to the north, there's a charging station up there. It would cost us to do the necessary charging stations. It would cost us, they say, about $10 trillion. That's like $10 trillion to do the necessary. And you know what? I'm not against electric. I think they're incredible. I think they have a purpose. I think Tesla's great. I think Elon, he endorsed me, gave me the best. I think they have a great purpose. But you can't go all electric. You want gasoline-powered cars. You want hybrids. You want a lot of different things. New things are emerging, but you can't have that. But they want all electric within a very short period of time. Also, they're going to all be made in China. You know that. We have gasoline. We have all the gasoline you could ever. They have, and it's clean too. They have what's necessary for batteries, China. So why are we playing into their hands like this? Because we're run by stupid fools. Stupid fools. If Kamala is reelected, New Mexico's economy will be reduced to rubble. You're not going to be drilling oil. There's no more drilling. There's no more oil. You can forget it. We want to go off. You know, Germany tried it for about 9 months. That's the end of that one. She was gone right after that. They tried it. They almost lost their country. And they went back to it. Now they're building a coal plant a week. I mean, they've gone from one extreme to the other. But Germany tried it. China's building a coal plant a week. Kerry goes to meet with President Xi. He says, I'd like you to go environmentally friendly. Okay, we'll do that. Get out of here. Go back. Tell them we're going to do it. In the meantime, they keep doing whatever the hell they want to do. And all that air, by the way, comes over our country in 3.5 days. So we're out there, nice clean air, but the air from China blows over our country every 3.5 to 4 days. And when they dump their garbage into the ocean, it floats on by in the Pacific. It floats on by Los Angeles. It's a lovely sight to see. We end up picking up their garbage, right? Because we allow that to happen. We won't allow that to happen. We're not going to allow that to happen. You know, China, when I was president, paid us hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs. When all of the other people, I won't use names, But when China never paid them 10 cents. They didn't pay us 10 cents. I got hundreds of billions of dollars, and they were fine. I had a good relationship with them, had a great relationship with President Xi until the China virus hit our shores, in which case that was a bridge too far. But we did a great job on that. Never got the credit for that. We got a credit for the economy, for the military, rebuilt the entire military. Got great credit for not having started wars. Right to try. How about right to try? How good was that, right? Right to try. Kamala has vowed to ban fracking. She will destroy over 90,000 oil and gas jobs in New Mexico. They'll put your state will go back to a level of poverty. New Mexico is going to go back to a level of poverty. Going to wipe out 35% of your state's budget. On day one, I will end Kamala's devastating national gas export ban. Do you believe we have a ban? A lot of people don't know that. I will immediately terminate the Green New Scam. That will be such an honor. The greatest scam in the history of any country. I will cancel her insane electric vehicle mandate. It'll be ended on day one. We'll end that one. And I'll cut your energy prices in half within 12 months from entering office. January 20th, we enter office. Within 12 months, all of your energy bills, your car, your air conditioning, your heating, everything will be 50%, 50. Despite all of the damage she's caused, Kamala has spent the final week of her failing campaign comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. That's what she's doing to me. 2 days ago, Joe Biden called our supporters garbage. You're garbage. He said they're garbage. He called you garbage. He called all of us garbage. We're garbage. I remember the word deplorable. Do you remember the word deplorable? How did that work out, Hillary? Not too good. But they mean it, even though without question my supporters are of far higher quality and I think much smarter than Crooked Joe or Lion Kamala. My response to Joe and Kamala is simple. You can't lead America if you don't love America. You can't do it. You can't be president if you hate the American people, and I think they hate the American people. I'll bet you we're 250 million people we're talking about. I'll bet we're 250 million people. Remember, it's called Make America Great Again. Who's against that? Remember Joe? Remember Joe before he gave up and quit? He quit like a little loser. He quit. I will hand over my presidency. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will hand over my presidency. No, he quit. He won, and then he walked into his office. You can't win. So she's not going to win either, by the way. That's the beauty. This can only happen to me. I'm the one. I have to fight two people, not one. I have to go. Everyone else, they can beat one. So we spent $150 million beating this guy. Never even mentioned her name. Nobody even knew who the hell she was, except she was incompetent. So we fight. And we're beating him. We have the debate. We did well. He didn't do too good. And then his numbers are down. They go in. They take away his presidency. They literally took away his presidency. And now they say they put some, it's like going to Dana White. You know Dana White, UFC. And he sees the fight going on and the one guy's getting beaten badly. They say, let's take him out and put somebody else in. You don't do that stuff. But they did it. Not a democracy. You don't do that. And, you know, she was last out of the 13 people. She was last. They started off with 22, actually. She was last. She was the first one to be defeated. She got wrecked. She got killed. She was the first one. She never made it to the great state of Iowa. We love Iowa, too. Never made it to Iowa. She never made it. She was defeated before she was the first one out of 22 people to quit. And she becomes the person I have to run against, right? Just not, I don't care. I think I'm probably happier. They have much more capable people than her. But you know what? What they did was wrong. They went in and they told somebody, you're getting out. We're taking over. And they actually took over the presidency of the United States. Think about it. Kamala Harris is not fit to be president of the United States. She doesn't have the intellect, the stamina or that special quality that real leaders must have to lead. You know, Brett Favre yesterday in Wisconsin, he's great. He endorsed me, never did that before. He endorsed me, gave me a strong endorsement. And I was thinking about her, I'm talking about her, and there's Brett Favre sitting there with her hands. He has got hands, I never saw it. He's got fingers like sausages. That's why he could fling that ball 80 yards down the field. And I'm saying, how do you even compare? You're talking about him. He was a leader, the won Super Bowl, and had some of the best quarterback stats ever. But great. I mean, it was such an honor. And I'm thinking about here's a guy who was a leader. He was a leader on the field. He'd be screaming at his guys. They weigh 100 pounds more than him. Although I tell you, he's a big guy. I was surprised. He's tall, but he is a strong sucker. And he comes out. And I'm looking at him and I'm talking about her in terms of leadership. And I say, can you imagine we're even having them in the same room? It's so ridiculous. Joe Biden's comments were the direct result of Kamala's decision to portray everyone who isn't voting for her, which is a hell of a lot of people, as evil and subhuman. Can you believe that? Evil. And we're evil and subhuman. And we know it's what they believe because look at how they've treated you. They've treated you like garbage. Look on the border. Look at New Mexico. You have the worst problem probably in the whole country. They're flowing in like you're a federal highway. They're flowing into your state at levels that nobody else has to see. For the past 9 years, Kamala and her party have called us racist, bigots, fascists, deplorables, irredeemables, Nazis, and they called me Hitler. I'm Hitler, that's what they say. They've bullied you, they've demeaned you, they've demonized us, they've censored us, deplatformed us, and weaponized the power of our government against their political opponent, me. I've had more investigations than Alphonse Capone. Alphonse Capone would kill a person just by looking. If he didn't like the person, even tough guys like these guys over here, if Alphonse didn't like you, you were gone. And I've had more investigations than Scarface. That's Alphonse Capone. My father would be looking down. He said, how the hell did that happen to my son, my boy, my beautiful boy? How did that happen? How did that happen? I'm pretty sure he'd be looking down. I know my mother would be looking down. My father. And he'd be looking down. He was a tough guy, but he was a good guy. He had a big, beautiful heart. They've taken away your money, thrown open your borders to criminals and terrorists, flooded your towns with deadly drugs and death, given your jobs to illegal migrants, and sent our blood and treasure to fight stupid foreign wars in countries that you've never heard of. This Tuesday is your chance to stand up and declare that you're not going to take it anymore. What we've built is the biggest, broadest, most incredible coalition and the greatest political movement in American history. There's never been a movement like this, not even close. We've brought together veterans and union members, soldiers and steelworkers, farmers and auto workers, and patriotic moms and dads of every race, religion, color, and creed. We're welcoming historic numbers of African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and Arab Americans. Let me tell you, when the numbers come out, you're going to see the worst African American numbers that we've ever seen, because these people that are pouring into our country are taking African American jobs at levels that nobody's ever seen, and they're trying to keep, I know the numbers, they're trying to keep the numbers quiet until after the election. They have 5 more days, but they want to keep them quiet. They should release them right now. African Americans, and to a lesser extent, but a lot, Hispanic Americans are losing their jobs to people that are illegally coming into our country. And we ought to demand it. I demand it of the fake news, but they're useless. These guys are useless. They don't even talk about it. And they know it. And they know it. They know what the numbers are, too. They're taking African American jobs at a level that nobody can even comprehend. And it's damn unfair. These are American citizens. It's damn unfair. We're uniting Christians and Jews, Catholics and evangelicals, Muslims and Mormons, and everyone who simply wants to do one thing. What do they want to do? Make America great again. That's all they want to do. Our campaign has been endorsed by 400,000 members. Think of this, 400,000 members of the Fraternal Order of Police, by the Border Patrol agents, unanimously, think of it, unanimously, and the strongest endorsement you've ever heard, by the rank and file membership of the Teamsters. That's something no Republican ever had, 62%. They have a great head of the Teamsters, so I will say, Sean O'Brien, he's a great leader of the Teamsters, I will say that. By Elon Musk, a great one. When I watched that rocket come in last week, I said, any guy can do that. I want that endorsement, right? He gave me the, you know where he is right now? He's in Pennsylvania, and what he's doing is campaigning for me because he said it's the most important single decision in American history because we're going to lose our country. We have the endorsement of somebody who's terrific, not easy. He's been, I mean, the family's been slightly Democrat for a long time, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. RFK Jr. He's going to help us on health and the health of women, and men, and children, and he is so good and so into it, and you'll see he's going to do a great job. I may keep him away from the liquid gold. I told him, listen, I love you, I think you're great, but stay away from my liquid gold. We're going to make a lot of money with that. We're going to pay off debt. We're going to lower taxes. We have Tulsi Gabbard, a highly respected person who just turned Republican. And the great astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who never endorsed, just yesterday, he never endorsed anybody in his life, and he endorsed a guy named Donald Trump. Kamla and Joe, call them, all of them also, they're in your group now. She calls them garbage, and he calls them garbage. Oh, you can imagine their conversations. But I call you the heart and soul of America. I call you the people that built our country. You're the people that built our country. We're especially excited to have the support of record numbers of Hispanic Americans and Latinos. And right here in New Mexico, we're going to win a record share of the Hispanic American vote. We're going to win. We're going to get tremendous. So if I did nothing else, at least the Hispanics are going to say, we love this guy, because I've set so many records. You know, we won Miami. We did things like win Miami. We won the entire border along Texas, which is mostly Hispanic. It's 80%, 85%. The governor of Texas, a good guy, Governor Abbott, called. He said, sir, you won the entire border running along Texas, between Texas and Mexico. I said, so why are you surprised? He said, it never happened before. Hispanics want great jobs, rising wages, and safe communities. You don't want vicious gang members getting dumped into your state, and you don't want Kamala teaching your children that they can change their gender anytime they want. And many Hispanics are also Catholics, and Kamala is persecuting Catholics. What's with Catholics? Any Catholic that votes for her should immediately have your head examined. They are persecuting Catholics. And remember this, evangelicals are next, okay? It's very simple. We're with you. What they're doing is unbelievable. They're persecuting Catholics. So, we have a lot of Catholics. Who's Catholic here? Who's Catholic? It's a lot. That's a lot. We're trying to turn that movement that the government has. We're going to turn it down. We're going to turn that thing down and off. In my first day in office, there will be no more persecutions of Catholics or anybody else. Kamala even suggested that being Catholic disqualifies you from running for office. She's about 75 years out of date. Didn't they have that with Kennedy? They had that with a lot of people. A lot of Catholics were persecuted they couldn't run for office. And now she's going to start that whole thing up again. The woman is a disaster. And ready? I shouldn't say this about an opponent, but I have to. Because you know what? We can't take a chance on her. She's dumb as a rock. She's dumb as a rock. Did you see where her teleprompter went off last week? Two weeks ago, she's like, 32. And now the teleprompter freezes. Happens all the time. I have my good teleprompter guy back there. He's excellent, but every once in a while, no matter how good they are, this sucker breaks down. But I haven't been using it too much today, to be honest. Hey, isn't it nice? I always say, isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter? Right? But her teleprompter broke down 3 weeks ago. And 32 days, he meant 32 days are left in the campaign. 32. Oh, 32. Did you see this? 32. 32. Oh, and I'm saying, oh man, I was watching, I said, she's lost it. 32. And then boom, it kicked back. You know, sometimes it doesn't. If you're going to be a politician, you have to know they have backup. See this? This is a backup. But, you know, if you have to use that backup, you're in big trouble because, oh, it broke. Now you got to find the page. It's not good. You're just better off just wing it, do whatever the hell you have to do. This is backup. All I have to do is figure out what the hell page it's on, you know, little things like that. No, if you're a politician, if you want to run for office, I have a friend, he wanted to, a very smart guy, very successful guy, made a lot of money and all. He saw what I'd done, he wants to run for the Senate. And I say, well, do you have any problems, anything back? No, I have one problem though. I have like this terrible phobia. I'm afraid to speak in front of people. I said, let me give you a little suggestion. Don't waste your time. Can you imagine that? He had a problem, little phobia about speaking in front of people. That would not be good. So he was actually hoping for small groups instead of large groups. Hey, do we have large groups? Oh, look at this group. If the fake news would show it, it would be so. They never show it. And you know, we do the videos a little bit for the great crowds, because when we have a good crowd like in New Mexico, that stuff is expensive to put up, right? But when we have a good crowd, we put it up. They never show it. A friend of mine on television loves to watch the rallies. He says, but the one problem is whenever they go for a clip, you saw a clip just now, it was a sad clip. Jocelyn, it was a sad clip. But you saw that. All that camera, see those cameras? They're right at me. All they have to do is go 1 inch to the right and 1 inch up, and they've got it. They say they never play the videos. I didn't know that until he said that. That's terrible. So it's blank. You know what they do? They show me standing here for 2 minutes, right? No, it's very unfortunate. And they don't do that because they don't want the public to really see the facts. It's so easy to do. 1 inch to the right or left and 1 inch up, and they won't do it. And I shame them, and I shame them also about crowd size. I say, show the crowds. How about her? She couldn't get a crowd the other night. She got Beyonce. Beyonce walked out, said something, walked back, didn't sing a song, and they booed both of them the hell out of the area. No, she can only get a crowd if she gets some person to sing. I don't have to sing. I don't have a guitar. If I had a guitar, would I do even better? We'd have even bigger crowds, right? We'd have even bigger crowds. Kamala Harris is a low IQ individual. She's running a campaign of hate, anger, and retribution. She's now talking about what she's going to do on the border, but why didn't she do it before? 4 years almost. Or what she's going to do about inflation. She's talking about, I'm going to do this and that. She doesn't know what she's talking about, by the way. You have a depression of 1929. She said what she's going to do about inflation, but why didn't she do it before? It's almost 4 years. Or what she's going to do to help the economy. But then I ask, why the hell didn't you do it before? She and Crooked Joe head up the worst administration in the history of our country. They've made one man, he's getting up there in age, just celebrated his 100th birthday, but they made him a very happy man because compared to them, his administration looks absolutely brilliant. Jimmy Carter. And in all fairness to Jimmy, he didn't let 21 million people pour into our country, many of them criminals and mentally ill people that should be in hospitals. He didn't do that. 2 nights ago, Kamala made a speech with a paid-for audience. You can always tell when the buses pull up and they're all the same. Actually, it's a good looking bus company. I think I'm going to use it sometime. But we don't need buses, do we? No, the buses, they get these people from someplace, they pay them and they send them in. Oh, she got a wonderful crowd today. And then you see the people that she's making a speech, they're all looking at their phone, blah, 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 calling their girlfriend, calling their boyfriend. But all she talked about was Donald Trump.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I will speak about Donald Trump. 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 Trump.
That's all she talked about. And that's the exact, that's it. That was exact. Although I got that from a fake news network, so you never know. No, that's all she talked about is Donald Trump. Let's talk about the economy. Donald Trump, this woman she suffers from a major case of Trump derangement syndrome. But many Democrats do, and that's because we're winning. We're winning by a lot. Everything Kamala says is a lie. She says that I want to take away Medicare and Social Security. That's a lie. You know that because for 4 years I just made it stronger. She says I want to end Obamacare and take away your health care. That's a lie. It's a lie. If we come up with something better, that'll be great. And everybody wants that because Obamacare sort of sucks. It's too expensive for the people. She talks about Project 2025. Which I have absolutely nothing to do with. She says, I know that because of Project, well, we've denied that. I have no idea what Project 2025 is. I've never read it, and I never will. But they make it sound like it's from me. She says, I want to ban IVF, a total outrageous lie. In fact, I'm going to require insurance companies to pay for IVF. And that was long, and many other things. I'm going to protect your Medicare, your Social Security. We're never ending it. She said we're in it. She never heard me say it. If she ever heard me, let her prove it. She gets up and lies. He's going to end Social Security. No, the nice thing is we can fight back because we have a voice, so we can fight back. We can tell you what's true and what's not true. But Kamala's open borders catastrophe, this is what's going to kill your Social Security. Her open borders will kill Social Security, Medicare, and frankly, will kill our country as a whole. It's going to kill us. According to a recent study, Kamala's plan, giving free health care for illegals, will rob Medicare of over $2 trillion. It will never recover, and I will never let it happen. The reason Kamala's campaign has been reduced, this desperate, pathetic stream of hoaxes and lies, is very simple. She's a liar. The entire world can see. She's a total train wreck. And by the way, I looked at her this morning. She had a little news conference. It lasted for like 2 minutes. She's exhausted. You know? She's exhausted. She's a train wreck who is totally unqualified to be the president of the United States of America. There are some people who thrive under pressure, and there are some people who crack under pressure. She's a cracker. And the more pressure Kamala has, the more you see it happening. No, she's cracking. She's a bad person because anybody that lies like that, knowing that it's a lie, just put it out. Just have to tell you because you have to understand it. When you see it, at least this way you know it. You know, a lot of people say, sir, don't go down in the gutter with her. I said, well, how will people know she's lying if I don't say the truth, right? Am I right? She says it. But being a candidate is nothing compared to the pressure of being president itself, because I've done both. If she can't handle going on The View, where she made a horrible mistake, you know the mistake she made. She can't think of anything she'd do different from Biden. That should cost her 75% of the votes, and the 25 that vote for her, they're not the smartest people in the world. She can't think of anything she'd do essentially different from crooked Joe Biden. Do you know that 325,000 young children were killed or are sex slaves or slaves right now who came through this horrible open border? Think of what that means. Many, many stadiums full of the biggest stadium in many stadiums. 325,000 children are right now dead, never to be seen by their parents again, or sex slaves or slaves. And they're missing, and they'll probably be never seen again. This is not a charity event. This is an election for the biggest and toughest job in history. This is no tougher job than being president. And we get hit from the enemy inside. You know that, right? We get hit by the Adam Schiffs of the world. He's scum, total scum. They made up Russia hoax. They made up all the impeachment hoaxes. They make it up. They're bad people. There's no participation trophy for incompetent candidates. Do you want to lose your life savings because we put a weak and foolish person in the White House? You'll lose it real quick. You'll lose your country. But do you want to lose your job or maybe your house or pension because Kamala has the economic understanding of a child? Did you ever hear her speak? They ask her a question on economic footing, and she's like a child. She says, well, I was born on a house with grass in the front of the house. I was born on a house with grass. She uses that answer all the time. And how about 60 Minutes? 60 Minutes, they interview me all the time. But they go at me, oh, they want to get me, with her, all softballs. And she gives one answer that was so incompetent that you'd have her examined under Article 25, actually. She'd be gone. But it was so bad. What did they do? CBS, they're licensed by the United States government because of fairness. 60 Minutes, right? What did they do? They took her answer. It was a long, horrible answer. I don't like the word salad term, but that's what it was. It was a word, just words all over the place. They didn't mean anything. They took it out in its entirety, didn't leave one word, and replaced it with an answer that she gave in another section of the interview. Nobody's ever seen. I think it's and this is really interference with an election, fraudulent interference with an election. It's never, I can't imagine, and I think they probably did it with a lot of others. They refused to give us the documents. So you know what? If you want me to, I will sue them. Should I? Because they are among the most, see the media? They're among the most dishonest people that we have. They're the biggest, I think they're maybe the biggest problem that the country has. They lie and they cheat. So 60 Minutes, a news magazine, part of the news organization, they took the answer out and replaced it with a different answer. The presidency is a job held by Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Dwight Eisenhower, FDR, you could name them. This is a job that has to be held by somebody with a high level of intelligence. Would you trust Kamala Harris to talk to Russia or China and talk about keeping us out of war? I don't think so. Would you trust her to steer us out of an economic crisis? I don't think so. But nothing is more dangerous than to give immense power to a weak and not very smart person, just not a smart person. We need smart. In fact, I call for it, but I would love to have it. We should have cognitive tests for anybody that runs for president and vice president. Oh, how about that guy she picked for vice president? What a loser. What a loser that one is. I mean, that guy, could you imagine? Well, she picked somebody so bad that there is a certain rule. Make them really bad and they'll never take you out, right? But you wouldn't put Kamala Harris in charge of a kindergarten class. She wouldn't be in charge of a kindergarten class. So at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, can you afford to put someone this incompetent in charge of our country's future? The answer is no. And she shouldn't be there. She got no votes. She shouldn't be there. On top of it all, Kamala says she would not do one thing differently from Joe Biden. Think of that. And he's the worst president in our history. By definition, what she said is disqualifying. Take a look.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
I stood there on the tarmac watching you check your watch.
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes.
So if you want to end this disaster that's going on all around us, you must get out and vote. You got to get out and vote. So we're thrilled to be joined by a lot of great people, a lot of real patriots. One of them is Mark Wayne Mullen, the senator from Oklahoma. And where's Mark Wayne? Where is Mark Wayne? Do you want to come up? Look, he's standing there. I think he wants to come up, but fast, Mark Wayne. He's a great athlete. He's a great wrestler, a great champion. He's a great champion. He is a great champion.
Guys, I am so proud to be here with my president, our fighter, right? The fighter that's going to fight back against this overreaching Democrat Party that's trying to literally go after all of our freedoms. This guy, I know a little bit about fighting, and when I see a fighter like this, he's a guy that makes me proud, a guy that's going to fight for not only us, but our children, and the children coming after that. Our fighter, the country fighter, the people's fighter, the one that's going to bring down inflation, the one that's going to bring down energy costs, the one that's going to bring back our economy, the one that's going to secure our border. The man that showed great leadership and courage during an assassination attempt. The man that stood up and shook his fist and said, "Fight, fight, fight." Our fighter, my friend, President Donald J. Trump, is going to get our country back on track. God bless you all for being here.
Thank you. Great guy, highly respected gentleman. So I'd like to just ask a couple of people to stand up. Candidate for Senate, where's Nella? Where is Nella? Where is Nella? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, congratulations. I hear you're doing very well, Nella. Go out and vote, Nella. Thank you, darling. Great. Great. Yeah, I heard you're doing great. You really should. She's fantastic. Congress is always looking for good people, and we have somebody that is great. Where's Yvette? Good, Yvette. Thank you, Yvette. A very special guy and a friend of mine, and he knows we did great the last time. Boy, did we do good. That's the one thing we have to watch, and he knows it better than anybody. Steve Pierce. Steve, thank you. Head of the Republican Party. He's the chairman of the Republican Party. Former New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez. Thank you. Former Vice President of the Navajo Nation, Myron Lizer. Myron Lizer. Thank you. Thank you, Myron. And a great developer from New York and Florida, all over the country, a friend of mine, one who's very generous. Anytime there's a problem with hurricanes or tornadoes or anything, he's always there and always helping and writing big checks. Mr. Steve Witkoff, he's here someplace. Steve, thank you very much. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. So here are the facts, just in closing. Kamala is a radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders and Pocahontas herself. She destroyed our economy. She was an original creator of Defund the Police, a movement that's so horrible that anybody even thinking about it is not qualified to be president. Kamala vowed to abolish ICE. These are great heroes. These are people that love our country, and they're tough and they're strong, and they got thousands of MS-13 gang members out of here. Nobody else would do it. As California Attorney General, Kamala redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as totally nonviolent crimes. She pledged to confiscate your guns. Would anybody like to give up your gun? And wants a total ban on handgun ownership. She even called for free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention at taxpayer expense. And what else did she do? She lied about working at McDonald's, right? So with your vote this November, we're going to fire Kamala, and we're going to save America. We will cut taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. We're going to get those prices down. Raise your wages and bring thousands of factories back to America and back to New Mexico. We're going to bring them back. We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine, which would have never happened if I were president. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East. I will prevent World War III from happening. We've never been so close. We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly deserve. We will strengthen and modernize our military. We will build a missile defense shield over our country, all made in the USA, and a lot of it made in New Mexico. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., making them safe and clean and beautiful again. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our school. And we will keep men out of women's sports. I will defend religious liberty, I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms. After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build our country, our nation. We're going to make our nation bigger and better and stronger again. And we will finally protect our citizens the way they're supposed to be protected. We're going to protect our citizens. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive. And every day will be filled with opportunity and hope, and filled with something you don't hear much of anymore, filled with the American dream. We're going to bring back the American dream for your children. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her radical left agenda with a landslide that is too big to rig. You need to get out and vote, New Mexico. For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote in this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. It belongs to you. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And 5 days from now, it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help from now until Election Day, 5 days, we will restore America's promise. We will take back the nation that we love. We love our nation so much. We hate to see what's happened to it in the last 4 years. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never, ever surrender. Together, we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. We are in a failing nation. We are in a nation in decline. We will not be in a nation in decline for long. It's going to end very soon. We're going to have a thriving, magnificent nation again, more so than it ever has been. We're going to do things that nobody believed, and we're going to have safety in our nation again. We're going to have great safety in our nation. Together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, New Mexico. God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you, New Mexico. What a crowd. Thank you.
So in the first of his 3 events today, Trump just wraps up New Mexico, which you have to wonder why he's even in New Mexico. He must know something we all don't. And I've seen a lot of chatter today, a whole bunch of chatter about people worrying about he's tanking in Poly Market. And oh my God, what's happening? Woosah. Let me just do it. Woosah. Easy. Chill. Breathe. They're doing everything they can right now. Anything possible to demoralize you, to make you think things aren't as they are. But what you need to do is don't look at the polls as much as look at what they're doing. Focus on what they're doing and what they're saying, and then look at their faces and understand the difference. This man's out here dancing. He's out here dancing. He's walking across the tarmac to the Undertaker music. He gets on stage in dark MAGA. He's sending messages. He's got 3 events today. Kamala's, I don't want to swear, but she's effed. So right now, all they can do is cheat. And as you guys were watching Trump, I'm looking around and they're finding this here and they're finding that here. And immediately, like I've told you, it's getting posted everywhere. And of course, Elon's doing his part to make sure it gets, put where it's supposed to be. Let's see, is he going to walk across the tarmac or is he going to get inside the car and ride away? It was really interesting when that helicopter flew by and he's like, what the hell is that doing? Oh, it's an Osprey. But I'm sure at the same time, the snipers or somebody was like, you might want to turn. Otherwise, we're going to have to shoot you out the sky. What the hell are you doing? Because that's probably protected airspace at this point. And the feed is cut, so I can cut. So they didn't want people seeing how he was leaving there. But in any event, chill. Just take the woosah. Ease up. I'm going to show you a couple of videos today as we close. Very short videos. I think they're both 2 minutes long. And when you see these videos, I want you to think something. I want you to look and see, is this the type of attitude that somebody would have if they're winning? But before I preface the first video, let me go ahead and show you what it's about. Breaking news. A judge declines to block Elon Musk $1 million voter giveaway. A Pennsylvania, okay, what I just said, a Pennsylvania state judge said he would place the lawsuit on hold while a federal court considers whether to take up the case. The federal judge declined to block Elon Musk's $1 million way giveaway. They're so freaked out. Again, look at their actions. Forget the polls. Look at their actions. They tried to sue him for him to stop giving away money for for people to register to vote. Oh, we can't have that. And they lost. They tried to sue Virginia to make them put newcomers and dead people back on the election rolls. They're suing people to do all this stuff. The Secretary of State in Colorado is basically committing treason by posting the codes to the voting machines. You think people who are winning act that way? Or is that desperation? Jocelyn, whatever her name is, from Michigan. Oh, these machines aren't working. Not sure what we're going to do. It may take us a week to go ahead and, finish counting. You think people who are winning do those things? Just watch. Just look with your eyes. You're going to see these people. That doesn't look like a winning attitude to me. That doesn't look like something that's, basically exuding confidence. So let's listen to, but as you listen to this, watch the face of the people breaking the news to the world that, you can't stop Elon Musk. Check this out.
Lawyers for Elon Musk have just delayed a potential ruling over his $1 million giveaways aimed at voters in swing states. A lawsuit brought by the Philadelphia DA has now been pushed to federal court.
By the way, that DA, Soros.
Making it likely the legal battle will not be resolved until after Election Day. MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin.
Watch her face. It looks like someone's behind her sticking in a suppository.
Is following this from the courthouse for us. Lisa, the PAC, I think, has already given out at least 12 $1 million checks to voters. Walk us through this and what happens now.
Well, Chris, unless DA Larry Krasner can get that case moved back here to state court from federal court or can successfully obtain emergency relief from that federal court, Elon Musk is free to continue giving away $1 million a day. As you noted, he's already given away 12 $1 million awards, including to 4 residents of this state, Pennsylvania. Larry Krasner was hoping to leave the courthouse in Philadelphia City Hall behind me with an injunction today that would prevent Elon Musk from continuing with his lottery. But instead, on what DA Krasner's lawyers called mischief night late last night.
Oh, wait. So you're taking the word of not the judge, but you're using the words and terminology of the Soros guy.
Elon Musk filed what's called a notice of removal in federal court, saying that the case raises questions of federal law that demand that it be heard in a federal court. And therefore, the state court judge who was assigned to hear the case this morning really had his hands tied and could do nothing further. The case is in federal court unless and until the judge there decides it doesn't belong there. And that's where things stand right now, with just a few days to go until the election, Chris.
So think about what just happened. The richest man in the world decided to give away $1 million a day. The richest man in the world probably hires the best lawyers in the world. I'm pretty sure he went to his lawyers before he started the giveaway and said, all right, dudes, can we get this done? The lawyer's like, yeah, you can do this. So when they decide they're going to do what they're going to do, what are you going to counter it with? Well, if they try anything, here's what we're going to do. Okay. And then you got some scummy prosecutor in Pennsylvania who gets, shoved into his office by Soros. Well, I'm going to take on the richest man in the world. And the ass got spanked again. You have to know your opponent. You have to know the capacity and capabilities of your opponent. I would not look to take on the richest man in the world unless I knew specifically I could win. So you walk in there with your gumshoes and your briefcase and you file a suit against the richest man in the world, and all of a sudden you look over to the right and there's a busload of high-priced $3,000 suit attorneys going, bring it. And you got your ass smacked again. And this is the part where I want you to really focus in quickly. You have judges that are looking at these cases, not taking weeks, bam, couple days, done, get out of here. That's not happy to see me. That's not people who are showing me they're confident. If I was confident in winning, I'm like, go ahead and waste your money, bro. Give out as much as you want. I got this. But no, I got to run into court and see if I can get him to stop it. I'm sure Mark Elias got his hands all in this. They were wanting to get in there and stop it and make sure that Elon Musk couldn't do it. And now they look like schoolyard boys playing against a big boy. They got spanked. And you have to know that Elon had it already put together before he even decided to launch this. It wasn't like he sat around and goes, you know what, I'm going to go on stage and start giving out $1 million a day, and I'm just going to leave myself exposed. Nope. He knew going in. He had the big boy attorneys already set to go, and now you're a couple days away, and look at you. Look at you now. Now, again, that's that case. Then you're not going to believe, and I'm talking to the ladies right now, what, the Kamala surrogate known as Mark Cuban has done. So just think for a second. You've been called deplorable. You've been called Nazi. You've been called a fascist. And then you were called garbage. And today, Mark Cuban goes on television and says you're stupid and weak. Now, I'm a big guy, but I'm not walking out there and calling my wife stupid and weak. Not if I plan on sleeping anytime soon in the same house. This man went on national television as Kamala is trying to win an election and called women who support Trump, his exact words, stupid and weak. All of you. How you like that? Laura Trump, who is anything but stupid and weak, because if you've seen her, you know she can handle herself. All right? She says, just when you think that Kamala can't possibly alienate and divide people any more than they already have, now they attack women who support Trump. Nice job, Mark. You're going to hear it in a second. Byron Donald said, 3 days after Tim Walz called half of Americans Nazis, 2 days after Joe Biden called half of America garbage, today, top Kamala surrogate Mark Cuban called Republican women weak and unintelligent. He's using a nice word. He called you stupid. They want to divide America. They want to we want to unite America. In 5 days, we will make America great again. I'm going to show you this video in 1 second. Mike Cernovich says Joe Biden is calling Trump voters garbage. Mark Cuban is calling Trump voting women stupid losers. This isn't how people talk when the internal polling is good. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what they're in free fall. They're doing anything they possibly can. And now the guy who's right next to Kamala, which now she's going to have to come out and defend this one. Oh, yeah, because the reporters are going to be like, yeah, so Kamala, you think women who vote for Trump are stupid and weak? She's got to go, oh, my God, not again. Are these people purposely trying to submarine me? Yeah, probably. I can't even fathom that they would be this stupid. Listen for yourself.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple. They're intimidating to him. He doesn't like to be challenged by them.
Kaylee. Mark Cuban. Okay, I had to take a breath before this because this is so profoundly offensive. I worked for Donald Trump. I consider myself a strong woman. I consider those around me strong women. Kellyanne Conway, Brooke Rollins, Ivanka Trump, Hope Hicks, Sarah Sanders. That's before we get to the women that Donald Trump elevated to very high levels, like Nikki Haley, who still supports him, like Amy Coney Barrett, who he put on the Supreme Court, or the women currently around him. Susie Wiles comes to mind, Caroline Leavitt. That is so offensive. And you know why? Because it's not just about the women who worked for him. He said the women around Donald Trump. This comes right after the Joe Biden garbage comment. Okay, the women around Donald Trump. What about the women who vote for Donald Trump? Are they weak? Are they dumb? Did Mark Cuban just insult any woman who supports Donald Trump? Because it's a little, very small step from that. And this is an official Harris campaign surrogate, Mark Cuban. That is misogynistic in my view. Get out of here, Mark Cuban. Kamala Harris, he's your surrogate. I want to hear from you. Do you agree the women are weak and ineffective, whatever he said? Get out of here. And I can't wait to hear from you, Kamala.
Yeah, look.
You go, girl. You tell him. I mean, I know there's a lot of women in here, but it's just like the gang that can't shoot straight. All they're doing is shooting themselves in the foot. And now this guy gets out there, he goes on The View and says, stupid and weak. I don't know of a worse thing he could have said. He just think. Most stuff is scripted. You're saying what you're told to say, especially in a political situation like this. You've got a candidate who's a few days away from an election. And you still have people saying, vomiting stupid shit. You people are garbage, and you women are stupid and weak. And you expect to win with that? But the bottom line is, what reason I even showed those two things to you were because of the chat. And people worrying about the polls and all this other stuff. And I'm like, did any of what you just heard sound like people who were confident that they were winning? And some people talked about Polymarket. Oh, somebody actually said the words that he's tanking in Polymarket. He's 23 points up with a couple days to go. That's tanking, huh? I play football. If I was up 23 points in the fourth quarter, I'm thinking I'm good. Is it going to fluctuate? Here, let me refresh. Maybe it's gone down. Oh, no, it didn't go down. It went up. That was in real time. Chill. They are doing anything and everything to demoralize you. But you have to watch what they say and what they do. I can show you the polls. Polls don't matter at this point. It's done. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, because at this point, the undecideds must be about that far apart in terms of who the undecideds are. I'll go through it if you want me to, but at this point, you have to realize, just look and listen. Watch what people do. See how they're acting. Someone who's winning doesn't go on The View and call women stupid and unintelligent. Someone who's confident that they're winning doesn't go to court to try and get one of the guys on the Trump team to stop, spending money. Somebody who's winning doesn't pull their advertising dollars out of North Carolina and say, okay, we need to go shore up the left flank over here in Virginia. Someone who's winning and confident of winning doesn't have to start sending surrogates to New Hampshire. My job here is to probably give you as much information as possible, because they're not telling you. But everything I just said is what is actually happening. She's having to go defend New Hampshire. She's having to pull money back and go defend Virginia. Oh, here's something else I can tell you, and I know this from a great amount of experience in advertising and marketing. She has had not only to pull advertising dollars back, she can only buy by the day or by the week. Mostly by the day. Why? Because you don't have the funds to spend. Why would she not have the funds all of a sudden to spend? She raised $1 billion. That's not what winners see happening. So when you're watching on X or Facebook or wherever you are, forget the polls, forget everything you see, Polymarket. It's at this point, nothing matters. Look at what they're doing. Look at her face. Did you see her face today? She did a video where she said that Trump was bad because he said he wanted to protect women, and it looks like she hadn't slept in 2 or 3 days. She's looking haggard. I mean, just like, damn, girl, you ain't taking care of yourself? Is this too much for you? Look at them. See how they're acting. You see Trump? I mean, I'm going to log off. I'm going to get something to eat, and I got to be back here at 6:30 because it's his next event. And then he'll show up and do that one. What's she doing? Looking on a helicopter like, oh, my God, I got to keep doing this? Yeah, there's something. Get your ass out there and do this. You took my money. Just look. Just look around and see for yourself, like, how people are acting. Many of you are parents. You have your own focus group, and you have your own life experience. You can see how your kids are acting. Are they throwing temper tantrums, or are they acting well? Because when they're throwing temper tantrums, you know something's, you had to discipline them or something. Or you're going to discipline them. Everything going fine? Everything's going fine. I don't lean to minimize anything, but it's like just look at what's happening. I mean, I don't know if anybody saw the Kamala Harris. See if I can. I don't know if I posted it earlier in terms of how ragged she was looking. No, I didn't post it. But, I don't know if you guys have seen this one. I can't play it, but there's the video of the guy who got smacked in South Carolina, surrounded by a bunch of black women. That's not winning to me. That's freaking out. That's looking like, it's crazy. We don't know what to do. Let me see if I can find the Kamala one. Kamala, because this woman this morning, she just didn't look good at all. So let me see if I can find it. It's all over. Okay, this it? Yeah, this is it. All right. This one's 1 minute and 7 seconds long. So let me go ahead and download this right quick while we're talking. How you doing? Everything going okay today? What are you guys doing for lunch? Or you probably already had lunch. I'm starving, but I'm still doing this show, and I'm downloading a video so I can get it up to you guys. That's what I do, and doing it quickly. Boom, and now I've got it. Now let me pull it into my software, and so you guys can see it, and click add, bring it in, boom, just that quick. I got the skills to do this kind of stuff. All right, here we go. So I want you to do two things. Listen to what she's saying and how she lies about Trump, number one. And then number two, just look at her. Just look at her face. You ready for this? Where are we? Hold on. Okay, here we go.
I will comment on the former President Donald Trump's remark about women and whether they like it or not.
Most of the people that she's talking to probably had no idea what is she talking about, whether he liked it or not. Remember, in his speeches, he says, hey, listen, I'm protecting women. Basically, whether you like it or not, I'm going to protect you. And she's got a problem with that.
And listen, it actually is, I think, very offensive to women in terms of not understanding their agency, their authority, their right, and their ability to make decisions about their own lives, including their own bodies.
So what Trump actually said, this lying heifer, is what he was talking about, the border. If you looked at the whole clip, it's running around right now. We're like, here's what he said, here's what she took and what she said. He said, I got to stop all this stuff, the Trace Leches and all the other crap from going on, and people like Jocelyn getting her daughter killed, because it's my job as president to protect you, to protect women. And somehow she's talking about it's an assault because women can, what?
And this is just the latest on a series of reveals by the former president of how he thinks about women and their agency.
What about men? He said he's going to protect us too. He's going to remove the newcomers because he wants to protect all Americans. What is she talking about? Again, look at what they say, not what you're seeing in polls and stuff. You can look at this woman's face. It's pained. She's tired. She knows she's lying, and she's having to get out there and lie anyway.
He has said, as he has, that women should be punished for their choices, whether he has...
You seen that before? When did he say women should be punished for their choices? And none of these reporters even call on her. But see, luckily there's X, and X goes out, "You're lying." Everybody on X is like, "You lie."
Talked about his pride in taking away a fundamental right from women.
Notice how she shifted protecting from newcomers. Somehow she, of course, tied in baby removal. Because that's all they really care about. That's what this entire segment was. She needed to find a way to tie in baby removal. And you can just look at her face. I'm going to go full screen on this because you can just see it in her face. That is not confidence. You're looking at a woman who knows she's defeated. And she's got nothing left. You should be looking at the camera. If you believed in what you said, like I'm doing right now, you should be able to talk to the people. You should be able to be, if you want to be stern, you can be stern, but you don't look stern. You look exhausted and tired because you're having to lie.
Has actually created a situation in America where now 1 in 3 women lives in a Trump abortion ban state and has legal restrictions on the right she rightly should have to make decisions about her own body.
That was mental gymnastics at its best. That is gaslighting to a scale up here. You took a man's quote about helping protect people because of newcomers and the gangs and everything else, and a woman losing her child and different women having different things bad happening to them that I can't even say the words. All those things that he was talking about. And you made it seem like he was trying to protect them from making decisions about baby removal because he's got a national ban. Like I said, you can look at whatever you want. You can basically look at any poll, but your biggest data set this close is to look at her and then contrast that with looking at him. Because when you look at those two case studies, one of them doesn't look like the other. One of them looks like, yeah, we got this. And the other one's like, ooh, what can I do? There was a real tell. If you've ever played poker, it's called a tell, where you know, sometimes people hold cards in their hands and they do things when they get a good hand or just the opposite. Well, there's a tell that she released today. I put it in the chat. I don't know if you saw it. It was a quote by her at the same press conference. And that quote was, "Despite the polls, I still feel confident we can win." Wait. You just admitted you're losing. She just admitted during that conversation she's losing. Despite the polls, I still feel confident we can win. I hope I rested my case, Your Honor. You understand the difference now. Watch what they say. Watch what they do. Tell yourself, is that a winning attitude or is that a desperate attitude? And you don't need any polls. At this point, we're a couple days away. None of it matters. It's all a shell game at this point. The media is trying to cover for her, trying to cover for Joe, trying to forget that he called anyone garbage yesterday, trying to say that what Trump did yesterday with the garbage truck was racist because it's mostly blacks and Hispanic men on the garbage truck. They're trying everything. And all it should show you is they're desperate. And desperate people are not confident, and desperate people are not showing you that they believe they can win. That's my soapbox for the day. They're going to try and cheat, but they keep getting beat. They keep getting beat. Her neck looks like a package of hot dogs. Oh, God. Tell me you didn't say that. Elon Musk case over $1 million move to federal court. Yeah, nothing's going to happen there. It's over. Once it moves to federal, now if he wanted to take it, he could take it all the way to Supreme Court. It's moved in federal. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Look, we got a troll here. We got a troll who's clinging. Hey, bro, I'm gonna let you stay because I want you to come back so we can like roast you in a couple of days. Preach, Barry, preach. All right, so I gotta. What's this? Joy Reid called all Trump supporters something too. When you're desperate, you make nothing but mistakes. You can't stay focused, so the game is already over. Exactly. You're desperate. You're trying to do everything you can. This is when you get hurt if you're playing a sport. This is when you make mistakes, you fumble, you throw interception because your game plan isn't working anymore. And everyone in the arena, everyone in the stadium can see this is desperate. We're trying to do some shit. We're doing some razzle dazzle behind the back, and the defensive coordinator is like, just play back. I don't know what this circus shit is. Don't get caught. That's all you got to do. And at this point, Trump's doing well. All right, let me go ahead and do super chats because I have to go get something to eat and get ready for the 2 more events we got coming today. 2 more. Not 1 more, 2 more. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. It's just too funny at this point. Why? I like the study in person and watching how people react to certain things. And you can learn so much by watching how people react in a certain situation because they give themselves away. They can't help it. There's only so much stress that somebody can take before it starts showing on their face and their gesticulations and different things that they do that people who are confident don't have to worry about. All right, so let's get to this. Big Cat, hey brother, hey Barry and MAGA heads, hi beautiful patriots. Thank you, Big Cat. Thank you, George Rivera. The New Mexico rally. Wish you were here. Oh, you're there. Awesome. Original ironic. Thank you. Just a reminder. Post that intro for us. Oh, I'll post it over on X. Join. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta tell you about that. Let me go back and get that. Where is it? All right. So if you want to join us on our X free private group over on X, it's basically a membership on steroids. It's free. It will continue to be free. We've got 7,000 people who have joined at this point, 7,000 plus. It is growing very, very fast, and we'd love to have you. fanfareshop.org/group. All right, so I'll post it over there. Albino, you realize he's landing in Albuquerque because polls now show him close in the very blue state of New Mexico. Governor Grisham has to be a very nervous tyrant. Governor Grisham tried to shut it down. They didn't want to give him the permit, but they didn't want to go toe-to-toe with the lawsuit, so they let him have it. Same thing, Albino. I bet Colorado is closer too. The Rocky Mountain front states of New Mexico and Colorado were once write-offs to the Republicans. Yeah, something's happening. Marv Bush, thank you. Hey, Barry, my name is Marv, not Mary. You called me Mary, not 3 times. I don't wear my glasses when I have to read, so that's why I have to lean in and say it. I'm like, it's Marv, not Mary. Okay, thank you for all you do. We voted early. Read down to the dog catcher, tool and die maker, 40 years, and my job got shipped to Mexico. Wow, that sucks. Albino again. By the way, I grew up in Albuquerque, now living in Colorado. These 2 states are being hit very hard by the migrant. I hate that they even make us use that word. They ain't migrants. We know what they are. Albuquerque and Denver are in deep trouble. Used to be beautiful cities. Yeah, I always wanted to go to Boulder. Never made it up there. These nuts. What a good name. These nuts. 6 days until we MAGA. Let's go Patriots. All the garbage will make Trump our 47th president. The world is watching and waiting. And once America falls, the world itself will collapse as we know it. Yes. Albino, from the border at El Paso is 3.5 hours north on Interstate 25 to Albuquerque, 10 hours up the same corridor to Denver. This is the Front Range corridor. Okay. Faith, how are you, Miss Taylor? Barry, can you slice out that clip about these men talking? For those of us who don't know how to splice, we can share this, please. So you're talking about the black man at the end of the intro and Bill Ackman as well? Yeah, I'll post those in X. The voter is that I had, Jarrell, the voter is that I had a very odd atmosphere and very little privacy. Don't be intimidated to vote for Trump. Yeah, don't be intimidated. Albino, thanks again. And aside, sitting here waiting to unload the Freightliner rig I'm in, has a sticker on the window. Saltillo Custom Truck Services. Saltillo is in Coahuila, Mexico. Interesting. Joy Kirkland, I disagree with you on some of the AI stuff, Barry. If you believe in Jesus Christ and you've read Revelations, I believe the AI may be a form of what is called Mark of the Beast. Okay, notice what you said there. What you said there wasn't factual. What you said there is, I believe that it may be. We are all entitled to our beliefs, and that's what makes us human. So I respect your belief. I just know that I use AI for different things. And the mark of the beast, as far as I know, and I'm not going to get biblical with you, but it's supposed to be on your hand, right? Isn't the mark of the beast somewhere on your hand, on your body? There's no AI on my body. I am real. If I poke myself, I'm going to bleed. So I understand that's your belief, but don't let your belief take you down a road that's not really true. There is no mark of the beast because it's not on me. It's not embedded in me. It's on a computer. But thank you for watching. Just another knucklehead listening to J.D. Vance on Rogan. And wow, this guy is awesome, like talking to a real person. Yeah, I understand he was on for 4 hours on Rogan. Got to check that out. Brenda Freeman, thank you. And Team Barry for everything. Such a godsend. Thank you very much. Not dark MAGA. You know, dark MAGA has black lettering. Sort of dark MAGA. How can we call it that? Marion Brinley, thank you. Love you, Barry. Love you guys for watching too. Kathleen Green, please don't stop with YouTube until X can be on my TV. No, I am not going to, just to clarify, I'm not going to stop doing shows on YouTube. That would be kind of dumb of me. But one day if they say you're no longer allowed here, that's why I'm setting things up so that there's an alternative. Brad Crane, Garbage Makers for Trump. Donna, how are you? Donna says, how is it possible for Raskin to refuse to certify the election and not inaugurate President Trump? He said, regardless of the amount of votes, how is that possible and what happens next? He's talking out of his butt. They're going to try everything. That's why I've been telling you November 6th is when the battle begins. And they can do all the stuff that they want, and they can try to extend it, and they can try and do this, and I don't care. Let him go out there and chirp. The bottom line is we have the stopgap, which is this SCOTUS, and we have the Constitution, which as of today still is in effect. Mama Mimi, he said cracker. You know they're going to use that. Well, I'm from Florida, and so down here, cracker means something a little bit different. And so he's from Florida. So these people up north who live in their studios in New York and Washington, yeah, get over yourselves. Claire Butterfield, thank you. Ever wonder, Mama Mia, ever wonder if she just doesn't want to do this? I thought about that. Seeing her face sometimes, she doesn't look like she's in it. You saw the video of her in the helicopter where she's just laying like this. And yeah, there's a good chance she doesn't want to do this. And they've said, whatever that three-letter agency, they may have held it over her head. Sandy McKenzie, what are you having for lunch, Barry? Thank you for all your hard work. Well, Robin had made me a nice, it's like a pad thai, and she's got some spicy chicken wings, and so I'm about to dive into it. Midas is over here just begging me, get up, come on, let's go, we gotta eat. So, and this is the time of year in South Florida we just love. It's not humid, nice breeze. It's just absolutely beautiful. So tonight, 6:30, in 2 hours, we're going to go live, I believe. Let me see what city he's in so I can be sure to tell you what exact city this thing is in at 6:30. And then we can make our plans aside because he's in New Mexico right now. And then he's got to get to Henderson, Nevada, for a 6:30 event. So, I don't know how far Albuquerque, New Mexico is to Henderson, Nevada. Hold on. Albuquerque, New Mexico to Henderson, Nevada. That'll let us know what kind of time frame he's in. Obviously, we just saw he's got the big Trump Force One. Henderson. and I'm not sure what airport he'd fly in Nevada, if it's the main one, the Harry Reid one. Distance, hold on, I'll tell you in a second. I'm not well versed in the West Coast. Difference between Henderson and Albuquerque is 500 miles. So if it's 500 miles from Albuquerque to Henderson, Nevada, and that's by driving, so it's 474 miles by flight, which means probably once he clears all the airspace and everything, probably 90 minutes. I mean, his plane can move that. So, but then he's got to get all the vehicles down and people, probably an hour and a half. So if he left right now, yeah, he could be there. He could definitely be on time. So that's why we're going to say 6:30. We'll see if we can't make it at 6:30. All right, everybody. Thank you. We'll see you at 6:30, maybe 6:45. I'm gonna watch and see what his timing is, and you can track the flights and you can see what they're doing. But then we'll get together at about 6:45.